Welcome to the Pride of Detroit PODcast, prideofdetroit.com, Pride of Detroit on Twitter, Pride of Detroit on Facebook, Pride of Detroit on Blue Sky, if I don't screw up the letters there. You know where to find us at live now on twitch.tv/Pride Detroit and youtube.com/at Pride of Detroit every week for the Pride of Detroit PODcast, everything you need to get you through the offseason and back to Lions football. On this episode, we have rookie minicamp to talk about because Jeremy was there. We will talk with him about observations. We'll also talk about some of those very interesting and weird storylines coming out of training camp already because people are bored. And this week is the reveal of the NFL schedule, which is like 60% complete of what we know, but it is still a big day because listen, it is a big day because people want to schedule those road trips. They want to know what games they're going to go to. So like we know who's playing who. It's just a matter of when and where and sometimes in what country. So we'll talk about that with the Detroit Lions. But first, I am Chris Perfett, the adequate host at Chris Perfett on X, at Perfett on Blue Sky. And joining me, as always, Jeremy Reisman, the fearless leader at Detroit on Lion. No Rock God today, no Ryan Matthews. Today is a bit of a sick day for about, I would say, 1.5 of the crew. Ryan's dealing with some family stuff. And for myself, if my voice goes, it's because I've had stomach acid lining my throat for like an entire night. So hopefully, we're playing hurt, but we played through the whistle.
It's going around too. I know Eric was going through something. A couple of my family members are going through something. It's just I feel like anytime there's a drastic change in weather, illness comes with it. So we'll be running with a 2-man crew today, and we'll carry Ryan on our proverbial back, even though he's not with us.
Yeah, and for me, we went from like 100 digits in the valley to now it's like a high of 70. Yeah. But anyway, let's start by talking about the Detroit Lions. Let's talk about the changing in the weather, which is minicamps, rookie minicamps. There's been a few storylines out from here, but Jeremy was there. We've had some quotes to talk about from there, and the big thing is just kind of seeing some of the new Lions rookies in action. Also a lot of guys who are deeper on the depth chart. I do know, it's not just rookies out there. You'll see guys who are we say sophomores among the UDFAs from last year as well are out there. So, we'll talk about a lot of that, but I think a lot of the attention is going to be on the draft picks for the Detroit Lions. Before we get into the storylines about it, do you want to just go down and talk about some 4 big questions I have for you?
Yeah,
or just your general experience?
For sure.
So let's start with this. So we've got a lot out there. Was it just whether it's raw talent, polish, or just how they carry themselves? Who is the most impressive player you saw on the field at rookie minicamp?
I mean, I kind of want to go with the chalk answer here, and even though he didn't play much, but Tyreek did seem like a man among boys a little bit in the limited time that we did get to see him. Now, full disclosure, when we're talking rookie minicamp, there's a little more contact than is allowed during OTAs and stuff. You do have offense versus defense, which isn't allowed until you get to OTAs. But so they open every year with this big kind of 11-on-11 walkthrough, but they're not walking. They are going 70 to 80%, and it was funny because I can't remember which Lions rookie it was, but one of them's I couldn't believe this is what NFL walkthroughs look like. This is not what we were dealing with at college, and he's going to soon realize that an NFL
rookie welcome to the NFL among NFL rookies. Yeah,
but also a true NFL walkthrough does not look like what it looks like in rookie minicamp. They were moving, and so there was kind of a lot of contact. There was you could judge offensive and defensive line play a little bit more than I expected. Of course, it's also important to point out there's no pads on at this point, so there's still plenty of limitations. But anyways, that was the only time we got to see offensive line versus defensive line. It probably went for about 30 minutes, and Tyreek probably played, I would say, maybe 20% of the total snaps, so he didn't get a ton of work out there. But when he did, he was consistently getting pushed back. And yeah, he's going against, UDFAs. He's going against, sometimes he is going against one of the Lions draft picks, right? So it's not that I would say it didn't really matter who was up against him. Like he was
Yeah.
pushing dudes around.
Let's talk about. I know I said I'd go through the questions first, but since we're on the conversation of Tyreek
Yeah.
Williams, there is. I said there was going to be some scuff about a couple storylines out from rookie minicamp. This is one of them.
Yeah.
You mentioned how his limited participation. As full background, he did get hurt during. He did suffer an injury during Ohio State's pro day. It's not that massive, but I guess I've just straight up asked you, like, is there any kind of concern at all about his limited participation?
I don't think so. Like you said,
Yeah.
and when I wrote my preview for rookie minicamp, I even threw out there, I'm like, he might not practice, right? Like, because he's been posting, or the workout company facility he's working at keeps posting videos of like, here's Tyreek on his hamstring rehab, like he's still like he's getting ready for rookie minicamp. He's rehabbing. Like, okay, no one has really mentioned that the guy is injured, but you're right. Like he fell during his 40-yard dash at his pro day. He was injured. Now Tyreek says, "I'm fine. This is nothing to do with my injury. Like that injury is healed. This is just a program that the Lions are putting me through." And that is almost like the exact same language that they used with Ennis Rakestraw last year when he was dealing with. I think he was coming off core surgery, so. Maybe not the best example to not the best example to use because Rakestraw was obviously in and out of practice a lot during the offseason, in and out of the season with injuries, but Tyreek is fine. They wouldn't
Also,
like, if there was any concern about him at all, he wouldn't have been doing anything out there. So they were just like, this is a ramp up period for him. That's all.
It's a ramp up period, and because he was drafted so high, because he is going to be assumed because of the Aleem McNeil injury, he is absolutely going to be a team one starter. So he's going to see a lot of him through OTAs, through training camp itself. Taking it a little, I don't want to say taking it easy, but like keeping him limited at rookie minicamp honestly feels like the right move, just to not re-aggravate anything that happened there. It's not a terribly bad injury he suffered at the pro day, but like, you're going to see a lot more Tyreek. I do not see this as a concern whatsoever, but I think we're bored, and there's a couple other guys I think have riled up people as well. Next question for you. Was there a player who surprised you the most out there? Someone who wasn't, maybe not the high draft pick guy, but someone who really flashed during the drills?
It's hard to say because there's not a ton of opportunities to flash. I will say, like, Hassan certainly caught my eye in certain instances. Like, I guess the most surprising rep I saw came from Hassan, where he was long arming a guy, like pushing him in the backfield. Hassan's not a big, long, or tall guy. In fact, like when he was out there, I'm like, that does not look like a defensive end. Like he's kind of short.
He's undersized. He was definitely undersized. And
but like,
I think you lose that when you're watching Mountain West tape because he's also playing other undersized guys.
Right.
But even then, he still looks small.
Yeah, but but for him to like do the long arm technique, push a guy into the backfield again. UDFA guy said he's going in, so I'll continue to throw that out there, not overreact to anything here, because that maybe I should have said that at the top. Like, let's not overreact to everything. But for him to display that shows kind of good technique, which is not something I expected out of him. Certainly shows the strength and tenacity that I think we all know that he has. And then the other moment that stuck out for me too is they were doing this rotation of drills, and they were in the third and final stage of these rotations. It was just like a bending the edge drill and tackling a tackling dummy type of thing. And he does it one time. He gets up in line to do it a second time. Horn goes. It's time to rotate to a new drill. He doesn't get his rep in. Pleads to the coach, let me go. Let me go one time. And of course, they let him to go one more time, and he finishes the drill. Again, speaks to that crazy character that he has, where he is just go all the time, and I want to get better. I heard from another beat writer that there was kind of a similar instance, when he was on the other side of the field. I was watching the offensive defense was over there. He's doing a drill. He messes up one time. He cuts back into the line, and it's like, no, let me do this again. I want to do it right. And so, that shows a willingness to learn, an eagerness to learn, and I think that's kind of what we've heard about Hassan, so probably not all that surprising.
Yeah, we know this guy's going to be a dog, and he's just going to compete really hard. It's just a matter of, being sure that he can, develop properly on an NFL level.
Yeah.
And I know like he even talked about just kind of like it is a little bit of a big fish out of water kind of thing with him too, where he's
Sure.
talking about he had the quote about getting to the facility and like having all of that stuff, the nutrition, the snack bar, and
Right.
going nuts for what do you go nuts for? The lobster mac and cheese?
Lobster mac and cheese. He was just like,
He's
oh
like, they
my
got
God,
apple
what's my
juice, they
life?
got orange juice. But but yeah, he's someone, and again, this is what we know about Hassanin. I worry about some fans overreacting, expecting him to contribute day one, but like I don't know how many podcasts we have to do and say like, look, this guy is, you're gonna have to be patient with that, and he's a great fit culturally, but you're just gonna have to be patient with it, and hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, I do think like, and I joked around with someone at minicamp about this, like he's a guy that when he's going up against bad offensive linemen, like he will in the preseason, just his like motor alone is going to win him a lot of reps. So he's one of those guys that he's just going to be like a
preseason darling
superstar. Yeah. And then then he might be special teams only, or he might be an inactive for the first month of the season. Like that would not surprise me at all. He's not going to go in there and win the starting job. Like we have to pull back. I'm not going to limit his ceiling in the future. He could be a starter in the future. I'm not saying he won't be.
Absolutely.
But to expect that by September, you got to pull it back a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, I have some ideas of who this could be, but who looked the fastest out there? Who's the most explosive?
Again, this is a tough one because there's not a lot of like running full speed drills. But I will say the speed definitely flashed with Dominic Lovett, the 7th round rookie wide receiver. That's how he wins to begin with. But he's another one of those where it's just like, how tall is that guy? 5'10"? Probably not a millimeter over that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like he's another one that looks small out there. It's why I think people are projecting him just to be slot only. We talked to him afterwards, and he does not particularly like that he's defined as a slot only. He prides himself on his physicality. That's something I'm just gonna have to wait and see when they throw on pads and see how he can be. But he played almost exclusively in the slot, and you can see the speed there. You can see some of the big play potential, I suppose, when it comes to just if the ball's in his hand, you know he's a threat to take it the distance. But in terms of like actual plays that he made, most of his speed really showed up in the individual drills. I don't recall him even making a single catch, and that part of that is because they just threw it to Isaac Tislaw every single time that he was out there.
Well, put a pin into Tislaw. I'm going to get to him next, but let me ask you, because like, do we really get a lot? Let me ask for the fans. Do we get a lot of special teams kind of related stuff out there? Because I know you had asked him about. He only allowed 27 punt return yards in total in 2 years. I know he gives a lot of that credit to Arian Smith, his teammate, his former teammate. But I mean, we talk about this all the time, how competitive the Lions are with how many guys can play special teams. But is that kind of being a late 7th rounder, is that his road? That has to be his road to the roster. And I guess where do you put his chances in that regard?
Honestly, like he is a very good gunner. They actually didn't run a single special teams drill while we were there, which is mildly surprising. But we only got to saw one of the 3 minicamp practices, so maybe they worked on special teams on Saturday and Sunday. We were only there on Friday. But yeah, he was a gunner at Georgia. Was obviously pretty darn good at it for the 2 years that he was there. He's got the speed for it. And so that was something that the Lions kind of struggled to find outside of the one corner, Khalil Dorsey. And then when Dorsey went down with an injury, they didn't really have a gunner that I think they trusted. So I think that gives him his best route to the roster. It's something he's comfortable with. It's something he takes a lot of pride in, for sure. So that is the way that he's going to make the roster if he makes the roster.
Yeah. All right. Let's just, I know I'm jumping ahead in our order a little bit. Can we talk about Tislaw though? Because I feel like that was kind of the, I know at least one Bleacher Report guy was grinding his axes because nobody likes being proven wrong. No draft guy likes being proven wrong or seeing a reach or anything like that. And I'm sure a lot of that's going on.
I'm not trying to single anybody out, but draft Twitter is at its worst this time of year, where they are
Yeah.
reacting to clips from OTAs and training camp and like all these sort of stuff. So, Tislaw, the Lions put out a video of a great play by Tislaw. He's in one-on-one coverage.
That was what I was like bizarre about. It's
Yeah.
like, so Tislaw, he beats number 35. He's gets above 35. I don't know who that is.
35. Gavin Holmes.
Gavin Holmes, and like,
Texas.
but again, this is a tall. We talk about Tislaw, 6'4", tall guy,
Yeah.
and like just hauls it in over him. Doesn't really sun him or anything, but still, he shows the verticality of it. And the next thing I see though in its context is like, this can't be inspiring if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, because I guess he was also supposed to get like buku separation on top of it or something. This is unbelievable nitpicking.
And
On one rep,
Right.
rep, we must add.
And if you haven't seen it, just go to Lions Twitter page and you can see the highlight. What's particularly ridiculous is that this is just a back shoulder throw. There is no move, there is no juke, there is no change of direction. There's really not that much of an opportunity to get open. This is a timing route. This is a go 10 yards downfield, look back and catch it on your left shoulder. That's exactly what he did. He created a little separation at the end with his physicality, which is something I wanted to see because I didn't see it on the tape that much. He actually got a tiny bit of separation at the release, which is what they're working on, because he got the cornerback to flip his hips just so narrowly inside so that he could have outside leverage. He played that exactly how you're supposed to play it. And I'm one of the biggest critics of the pick. And I'm like, this is not where you stand on the hill and say Tislaw was a bad pick. I saw him at training camp, or I saw him at minicamp. There were ups and downs. There were some times that he did not get separation. He's running crossing routes twice that got broken up because he didn't have a ton of separation. One, there was a clear tug on the jersey, so I'm not counting that. The other one of the writers said he thought Tislaw should have been able to catch it through traffic. I think he was just kind of draped over it. But then the very next time he had a dig route to the outside, put one step inside, completely got the cornerback biting on the inside, was wide open for, a 15-yard gain right out of bounds. So there were ups and downs with Tislaw, as you would expect from a rookie who is playing on the outside for the first time in a few years. And what I thought was really interesting about how they attacked it, they put Duke Shelley, who was there as a tryout. He's been in the league for 6 years. He was there as a tryout. I went back and looked at his scouting report and all that, physical press corner, even though he's only 5'9". And so they specifically, while I was there, not on the highlight that you were talking about, but while I was there, it was mostly Shelley up against him. So they're like, hey, let's put our most veteran physical corner that we have here in camp against him and see if he can get some free releases. Sometimes he was able to break the press. Sometimes he wasn't, which is exactly what I would have expected.
Yeah, it's as you say, it's a bit of I get it, in that I feel like we talked about this. It's becoming this thing about worry about Brad Holmes reaching on certain things, and I think we're getting a certain narrative about it. And nobody likes the trade value at all on this right now. But as you say, it feels extremely premature to be doing any kind of victory laps on any of this kind of stuff. I think, and look, we know he's going to be a bit raw. I think he's going to be a little more in line to see some full-time reps versus someone like Broderick Martin, just because I think there's an immediate need for him to be a change of pace in the slot for wide receivers. I guess we'll see. When we get closer to preseason where they use him. But
it was a lot on the outside. So to me, it's clear that's where their long-term vision is. The question is, when you're talking about this year, when you're talking about his contributions this year, is he someone that they play in the slot just in sub packages? Is he someone that's playing 5 to 10 snaps, mostly in the slot, maybe a little bit on the outside just so he can dabble in? Because that's probably where he's the most valuable right now, in the slot where he's comfortable. But long term, it's clear to me, at least through one practice. And again, I don't want to overreact to one practice.
And that's perfect. And by my estimation too, with where this roster is right now, I would say that's perfectly fine as well. Yeah. You're going to be relying on the veteran presence of Tim Patrick for this year. You're going to be relying on, the guys you have in JMO and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We talked about this, that there was a need for depth of the roster for long term for wide receiver. Like, that's the thing about the Tislaw pick, is like they have time with
Yep.
this guy. I don't know if that patience was, I mean, not patience, what's the right word? I don't know. I get myself tied in knots whenever I see people bring up the name Broderick Martin or Sorsdal when talking about Tislaw, just because it's the same area of the pick, it's the same infatuation with a guy who's a little rough around the edges as a prospect. But like, that's where the comparisons end for me.
Yeah.
Tislaw like has it's not just a particular scheme thing. He has the physical tools to do well as a NFL wide receiver. It's a matter of experience at this point, and the best thing to do that is just going to be exactly what we're lining out, being part of the depth and taking over in time if whenever Tim Patrick's done, or wherever else they want to really use him. Like, it's they have the luxury to be patient with Tislaw. So
Yeah. That's like, I kind of painted him as a developmental pick, and he is a developmental pick to some degree, but it's also, the Lions roster is also at a point where like everyone is going to be developmental because there's just not room for everybody. Everyone
Right.
that's not picked in the first and second round is probably not going to jump into a starting spot, so they're developmental by nature, because that's
And to be
what
honest,
the rookie season is going to be for.
yeah, and to be honest, like Tyreek Williams, like we didn't have this issue with the Lee McNeil right now, like
Right, he might not
what's
start,
the
yeah.
chances he's a day one defense starter on the D line?
It's very true.
Like, so I just, yeah. Okay, last question for you, and then I have well, these are like Ryan wrote these questions down, and then I have a question of my own.
Sure.
About one more rookie. So if you had to bet on one guy from that rookie group sticking around long term, outside the obvious top picks, who would it be and why?
I think I'm going to go with Dan Jackson, the other 7th round pick, the safety. And it's not
Georgia, okay.
It's not necessarily anything he did. And it's certainly not a bold prediction either, because the Lions don't have a lot of safeties on this roster that you can trust. But the way he carries himself is very professional. I mean, he's already 24, is that right? I have it. Let me have the list in front of me. He's 24 already, so one of the older rookies of this class. Definitely going, like, when Brad Holmes says you're going to be a 4-phase special teamer right off the bat, I believe him. And again, like, they didn't run special teams drills, but he's out there. He's a starting safety. I saw him play towards the line of scrimmage one time where it was a tight end. I'm not sure which one, but like, it was a tricky route. Like, the tight end goes in motion, and then right off the bat, he runs across the line, the line of scrimmage, and that made it very hard for Dan Jackson to like weed through the traffic of the defensive line and the linebackers to get to him. But Jackson read it right away, and that, to me, like, I logged that in my head, because the one thing that Holmes said about him, other than he's going to be a 4-phase special teamer, is like, we know after talking to some people why he was the guy that was back there running Georgia's defense. Because he's, and the implication there being that he's smart, that he knows what he's doing. He can read. He's instinctual. He sees plays develop in front of him. And that's exactly what I saw in that moment. And so there's room for players like that, even if they're not, the fastest, even though if they're not the biggest, the strongest, the best tacklers. And so to have someone there that's going to be smart, that's going to know the defense, that's going to be a valuable guy in the locker room. That's going to be a valuable guy on the field as depth. That guy's going to be valuable in the film room. Not to mention, he is a 4-core special teamer. So I think Dan Jackson, his stock is continuing to go up for me as I learn more about him. And that certainly was the case seeing him out there in rookie minicamp as well.
I have one more question for myself, and it is about the last Georgia Bulldog we haven't really talked about yet, which is Tate Ratledge. So let me just, here are I looked these up. We had the list of the 2 offensive line teams. Team 1, left tackle Bryce Bernhardt, guard Fautanu, center Tate Ratledge, then Miles Frazier, the LSU draft pick, at right guard, Mason Miller at tackle. Team 2, Ratledge is there as the right guard, Leif Fautanu is there as the center. And then I found this interesting for my own purposes. Kingsley Eguakun is over at left guard, not center. He didn't play center at all on either of these teams. I think there's deeper question in regards to that, considering he was of my belief a pure center, but they're not working him out at center at all on these teams. But we talked about this a little bit when it came to Frazier and Ratledge, that or not, and Mahogany as well too, a
Sure.
little bit, although he didn't participate in minicamp. But um he's getting like Ratledge got like 50-60% of the reps at center. We talked about this on previous podcasts where we cast a little bit of doubt about the idea of cross training him at center, but the Lions weren't kidding. And they're
Yeah.
using and maybe it's a minicamp thing where they're really using him at center. I'm not a big fan of this, especially when you've got centers like Fatanu and Ekwakan sitting there to play. And I mean, you did have Fatanu there, but again, you could have used Ekwakan as the team one center if you really wanted to, and started Ratledge in like the place of Fatanu, but they're playing him about half the camp at center. I think he was asked about it, and he just his stock answer is he's just trying to absorb the playbook. But what
Right.
I'm not really sure what to make of this. I still think it's a bit of a waste of time to be cross training at center. I understand they have this like longer term need for center, but I don't see that coming. I want Tate Ratledge to be the best guard he can be.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, to be quite honest. I think you're right. Like, I probably downplayed it when Brad and Dan had mentioned, like, hey, we're gonna cross train all of our guys. We always cross train all of our guys, but I don't remember them going out there and like, oh, Panay, you're gonna go play guard just to figure it out, just to see if you can do it. Now, obviously,
Right.
we're talking about a top 10 pick versus a round 2 pick, and even with like, I don't remember Christian Mahogany playing center in rookie minicamp last year. Maybe he
No,
did,
I
maybe
don't
didn't, but
either.
I don't recall it. And this isn't just playing center. He is the first team center in rookie minicamp, and so I feared that this would happen, and I actually haven't seen it happen, and thankfully it hasn't. But like, I was afraid that some people were going to be like, "What's wrong with Frank? Oh my God, if he's playing center, what's wrong with Frank?" I don't think anything's there. To be clear, I don't think anything's going on there. But it was just surprising to me seeing as much center time as he got. My read on it right now is maybe they're like, Graham's not going to be here forever. It's a luxury to have that back, a center that we can trust already playing guard, like Graham has for the past year or two here. And so I think they want that out of Ratledge. I think they want him to be able to slip, like if Frank ever goes down with an injury, he can slide from right guard or left guard or whatever Ratledge's permanent position is going to be to center, so they don't have to rely on, an Iguacan type where Iguacan doesn't play much at all, right? He doesn't have the built-in chemistry with these these first string guys. It seems to me like they prefer maybe now to have their backup center already out there as a guard, so that there's limited shaking up that you need to do, I guess.
It's I guess I'm just not. This is one where I'm struggling to see the vision, I guess, and it's like, yeah.
The other part is like, you have limited bodies out there too, right? Like, you have 10, 11
Right.
offensive linemen, period. Not even that much. It was probably more like 6 or 7. So,
Yeah, we'll see when we get to OTAs, when we get to training camp itself. We'll see if this continues.
I do think it'll look different. Like, at some point, Ratledge is going to be in the starting lineup, or the first stringer lineup, and it's not going to be at center unless, Frank takes training camp off, which could always happen just because he's a veteran and they're like, why push it?
But I mean, at that point, you also have Glasgow out there too, and Glasgow's going to be fighting to make the roster, and I'm sure he's going to want as much time at center because that's probably his role to the roster at this point.
Yeah.
But the role to the roster, the way to the roster for us is with Righteous Felon, Craft Jerky, and meat sticks. Not something I put in my belly right now, but give me a day or two once I've sucked down enough chalk. And I'll get to the jerky, because jerky has 16 to 20 grams of protein in every 2-ounce bag of Righteous Felon. And each meat stick they have, which are the adult Slim Jims, have 8 grams of protein. If it's good enough for us, it'll be good enough for you too. Righteous Felon is based in Westchester, Pennsylvania, using locally sourced all-natural black Angus beef. They pride themselves on superior quality, revolutionary branding, and unique flavors that go beyond the stereotypical jerky offering. Chat, I can see right now, says a 6.2 out of 10 10 transition. I didn't know we did. I didn't know we did decimals besides 5. First off, second off, I am playing hurt, so I will take it. And you know what? You can take 15% off your order. RighteousFelon.com. Use the promo code POD15 at checkout. You get 15% off your order. We need to hit them up again at some point about another 20% off. Kind of grease those tires a little bit more. But for now, 15, POD15 at RighteousFelon.com. When we come back, let's pivot away from minicamp and start talking about the schedule.
Yes.
We're going to have the schedule release coming up here this week. So this might be dated a little bit by the time you listen, if you're listening later in the week, but who cares? We love the schedule. We love having fun with the schedule. We'll break down the schedule fully when we have it on the next POD cast, but we want to make our predictions and talk about what we expect to see. That's next. Pride of Detroit. Hi, chat.
What's up, Chad?
In spite of my stomach, I do have a surprise for you.
Oh, yeah? For me or chat?
For you as well.
Oh.
Because we know how much we all like our junk food and sodas. Pop, and everything else around here. Half the reason I think my stomach has decided to destroy me is I did go to Little Caesars last night. The Tigers have been on a tear, and look, I believe that when they do well, I should reward the Illich clan in getting some of their slop pizza. What I did not realize when I first opened up LittleCaesars.com is that I would be greeted with an announcement of a unique offering there.
I got this announcement literally 7 minutes ago from the Little Caesars app, by the way.
You have the Little Caesars app, really? Okay,
I sure do.
You have the Little Caesars app. Okay, it looks scuzzy on the it looks unfocused on there. Oh, hey, Zazu. It's not surprise jerky. Let's just say this. Taco Bell is no longer the only place with their own Mountain Dew flavor.
This is not another ad. This is
not another ad. I wish they was paying us, but
why?
Oh my God! Are you
I
like?
have so many other alerts. I'm trying to.
Yeah, and it's unfocused.
Alerts.
There we go. Hold it right there. Mountain Dew did it again. Created a new flavor with refreshing blast of mango flavor. New flavor with refreshing blast of mango flavor is what it said. See, it was saying something about sweet heat, so I'm wondering if this is like spicy mango. It's in my fridge and I haven't opened it. Let me go grab that right now.
Go grab it
while you do the alerts.
Oh my God, I did not know. I'll do alerts. Also, someone was asking whether Mahogany played in minicamp last year, and the answer is yes, he did. The mono was for training camp. And I actually just pulled up the notes. Manu played exclusively at the position he played predominantly at college, right guard. So Mahogany did not rep it all at center during last minicamp. But as for the alerts, Baby Eagle, thank you for the 7 months thank you for subscribing 7 hours ago.
7 hours
earlier
ago.
today. So I don't know if you're watching right now, but thank you, Baby Eagle, for the first time subscription using your Twitch Prime. Yevitz, 44 months subscribed to the channel. Boofgertz, 18 months. Robo, 1207, 41 months. The Pintar, 22 months, says football is back. Not sure that's true. Don't think that's true. I mean, minicamp, I guess, counts. It's very orange.
So it is very orange. You have the Little Caesar down there. Here, it's called Mango Rush, Dew with a blast of natural and artificial mango sweet heat flavor. Now, it's not like it's advertised as like a spicy mango or like a Tajin mango like you'd get out here, or chamoy or whatever if you come out to LA, you get those spicy mango smoothies.
Is it not tahine? I always thought it was tahine.
It might be. It is tahine. I just cannot pronounce when it's a J.
Okay.
Tahine or chamoy. My question, though, since it's not talking about that at all, but it still says mango sweet heat, and I'm just saying, white people think mango's spicy or something? I don't know. They got like fires down here too. They got these like things on
Little
fire.
peppers. Okay.
Yeah, well, it kind of no, it's like the outside of a mango. It's on fire for some reason. And it's multicolored.
Oh.
It's like Chernobyl from Hot Tub Time Machine. My son tried it, said it's okay. Chug it, Chris. I'd like to pre-redeem my Movember reward. I don't think I could chug it with the way my stomach is right now.
Please don't.
Oh God, Dole Whip sounds amazing. You know what? It's very easy to make your own Dole Whip too. It's just frozen banana, frozen pineapple, some coconut milk or coconut water, and some sugar.
Now I have an intense craving for soft serve ice cream. Just like
we were talking about this the other day. Yeah. What was it like? Someone was like doing comparisons of different types of food, and I hate that they use the term hard ice cream versus no. So it was just hard versus soft because they were talking about hard shell taco versus soft taco, and they said hard ice cream versus soft ice cream, and I kind of got a little down. But it is true that a nation does miss frozen yogurt. I loved Froyo.
Is that fad completely over?
I think there's a place called Yogurtland in the valley near me. I need to go there sometime. But like Froyo is like the national thing is gone, I think.
I guess so.
All right, here we go. The new do.
The new do. A look of confusion.
Well, it doesn't taste spicy at all, first off. So I'm not sure what the sweet heat's about. I'm assuming if I pair it with like some pepperoni or something, that's what they're trying to do.
You just gotta line the can with some tahini. Just a little.
Here's the other problem: it doesn't taste like mango either. This tastes like Sunkissed.
It's just orange.
It tastes like an orange soda. Okay, I get a little bit of mango on the second sip there, but it. And again, it's not even like a good orange soda. Like I think Fanta is probably like the good orange soda. Sunkissed doesn't like it's that Sunkissed flavor where it's like this is kind of orange, I guess, because it looks orange.
Now I want an orange creamsicle ice cream. That's you're messing with my brain here. Basically, Livewire rebrand. Does it taste like a Livewire? I am not at all Mountain Dew
I've never had Livewire.
Okay.
The only So, like, funny enough, so for me with Mountain Dew, I never had Code Red. I never had Midnight or Black or whatever it was. The only two non-standard Mountain Dew flavors I had was Baja Blast and the what was the raspberry? They had like a raspberry lemonade flavor. Oh, Spark. That's what it was. Mountain Dew Spark.
You've never had Code Red?
I cannot stand the look of Code Red.
What?
No. You know what it is too? I'm scarred. So no. I've got a good story about this. Okay. So when I was going to driving school when I was 16, there was a gas station across the way, and one of the kids with me in that class on a dare went over, grabbed a 2-liter of Code Red, and chugged it all. And I've been scarred, and I've never wanted to have Code Red ever since.
I've had Code Red, and I feel like I haven't had a Mountain Dew in 10 years.
What is Code Red flavor? Is it cherry?
I think it's just like a Red Pop type thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Red Pop.
Okay, that's fair. Of the Faygo flavors, Red Pop is in the top 5.
Rock and Rye for me. Rock and Rye and Moon Mist.
Rock and Rye. I don't think I've ever had Moon Mist. I think we've done this before. Have we? We've done
we've done Faygo. We've done a Faygo list cast. We've done a Faygo list cast. Moon Mist is their Mountain Dew. Yeah. Ruby Red Squirt is S tier. Oh yeah. All
right, give me a 1 through 10.
Oh God, I have to go look up all the. I don't even remember.
No. I'm sorry. A 1 through 10 rating on your orange soda.
Mango soda.
No, it's an orange soda now.
It's a 6.
Okay. MJ Kimball gives a 6.2 for you.
Okay, we're still doing the the weird decimals. I would go for an orange soda before I went. It's a little lighter than a Sunkiss. Sunkiss is always heavy. This is a little lighter than that, but like doesn't taste like Mountain Dew, doesn't taste like mango. You know what? I'm gonna knock it down to a 5.4.
There you go. 5.4. If you're going to
I
Little
am
Caesars,
probably not getting it again.
don't bother with the drink. Just get yourself some of those cupcakes if they're still there.
Uh, did you just call those cupcakes?
I did.
The things with cheese and pepperoni in them. You call them
Yeah.
cupcakes.
Yeah. They're little cupcake shaped things. They're good.
Oh God.
I got the bacon
Are
one,
they
and it was
good?
not that good. The pepperoni one was good.
That might have
What-
to be my next time ordering that.
What do they actually
Although
call those
here's the thing,
things?
I love here's the thing, I love stuffed crust pizza. So I liked, last couple times like, all right, this is kind of like Pizza Hut, except it's not a ton of flavor now. I mean, a ton of money now at there. But now Domino's has come out with a stuffed crust, so now I'm like, all right, now I gotta try that.
Crazy Puffs. They're called Crazy Puffs. Okay.
Crazy Puffs,
Yeah.
savory cupcakes.
The promo that they threw in my face when I opened the app was for pretzel crust, and as someone
Oh,
who's
God,
a fan of
those.
pretzel and pretzel crust, no, I don't want it on my pizza.
Here's the problem. It's not the pretzel crust with it is perfectly fine. It's that the pizza it comes with, they do a cheddar sauce instead of tomato sauce.
Ew.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
this.
That's the problem with it.
That is too.
That's the problem with it. It's
It's
too
t-
much.
It's too much of the same flavor profile. Salt.
So you're getting cheese on top, you're getting a cheddar sauce, and then you're getting cheese in the pretzel crust too.
Yeah,
It's like
and just it's too much. Like you need the acidity of the tomato to cut through that. You need
sound
you
like
need it.
this.
You need it.
You need it.
That's why like when I go flavored crust, like I'm always going with like something a little more either buttery. I know that's still got salt in it, or like
Garlic.
garlic,
for me. Anything
or
garlic. Yeah.
I'm all for like Cajun crust. Give me Cajun crust.
Mm.
Now that would be a list cast. Is crust flavors.
Crust flavors.
Like people who know Jets turbo crust.
Let's get Jets. I've been to Red Robin. It's been probably decades since I've been to Red Robin, but I've been to Red Robin. That's more of a burger joint though than pizza we're talking here.
I don't know why, but I kind of have a craving to go to Red Robin. I haven't been in forever too, but like some of the burgers on that menu, they look pretty good.
I need to see if it's still going on, but okay, I think it's still going on. I have a craving for a different red all of a sudden. Oh no, I think damn. Okay, never mind. I've lost the craving. I was gonna do it a couple weeks ago but I've been so busy. Lobster Fest is over at Red Lobster.
Oh no! Don't tell Ahmed Hassanin.
I know
He
because I
loves his
saw
lobster mac and
I was gonna say because that was the big thing that got Blake Griffin for the commercials, and they had like a lobster mac as like there, but now I guess that's over, and like I'm not going there at prices without Lobster Fest prices.
The one with the fried egg. And like, do they have bottomless fries there? I feel like they do.
At Red Robin, yeah, they do. I haven't done one of those in forever. I did a couple months ago. I was going through Universal Studios through the City Walk. That's like right out there, and they still have one of those Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rocket.
City Walk is like clearing out. There's a lot of restaurants that are gone there. Like Margaritaville cleared out. The nice like Japanese place I liked is gone. The old Chinese place is gone. I think NBC Sports still has their sports bar there, but I think like Maker's Mark took out their there's empty lots in the City Walk. But the Johnny Rockets is still there. And I remember as a kid going and getting Johnny Rockets there.
The only thing I remember about Johnny Rockets, other than it being, looking like a 50s diner or whatever, is I think they had like old timey jukeboxes, or like the one like
they
things
do.
where you flip and they actually like work. I don't know if they still work.
Yeah. It's funny because like I think the first one of those I encountered, I think in Toledo we had a Steak and Shake.
Mm-hmm. I went to Steak.
But that was like a whole
3 days ago.
What are you going there for the beef tallow fries or whatever the fuck they're doing?
Nah, I like Steak and Shake. I think Steak and Shake is
I
pretty
used to
darn
like
good.
their melt. They had a melt. It was like, was it a turkey melt on the menu? But like they had a really nice melt way back in the day. That we kind of stopped doing the 50s diner craze all over again.
Well, yeah, because no one wants to sit down and eat anymore. And if they do, they want it to be
Yeah.
like actual good. Like, how many people want to sit down for a burger and fries anymore?
Mm,
I feel like if you sit down, you want like a steak or seafood or sushi.
I'll sit down
or...
if it's like a smash burger.
Mm. When's the last time you sat down and ate a smash burger at a place?
A month or two ago. Like this one, because I'd never had a smash burger before, and someone told me about a good place in town up in the valley to go to smash burgers, so I just went over there, and it was just one of those small hole in the wall places. But yeah,
I can't remember the last time I've sat down and got fast food, or even fast casual. Like, if I'm going to Chipotle, I'm probably picking it up and taking it home. If I'm going to,
Sure.
I don't know, Steak and Shake, I wasn't like. Does anyone sit down at fast food restaurants anymore?
I do sit down at Jersey Mike's. I will, because the problem is, here's the problem. It's him. It's him. I get a number 8 all the time. The club sandwich.
Yeah.
And if I can't come home with turkey, I can't come home with a deli sandwich because he will harass the hell out of me until I give him all the turkey on the sandwich. He will hold me hostage.
With just his eyes?
Dude, he will sit right behind me and yowl nonstop. Like,
That tells me you gave him food way too early.
No,
he won you
this
over.
This is how he's always operated with me. This is why he's with me instead of just being a stray in Georgia, is that he knows how to beg.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say with Jersey Mike's, like if you get it Mike's way, and you drive that home, like you've got a ticking clock.
No, it's still good. No, it's still good. It's still
I don't
good
know.
by time
The
I
oil
go.
and vinegar soak through that bread. Can soak through that bread in a hurry.
Maybe. I think it's because I get it as a club, so there's also that layer of like mayonnaise and bacon on top too, so maybe that stops the decay.
Maybe.
Because that's usually what I get. It's either a club or I'll get one of their hot subs. Now, the hot sub, you are on a timer with that, because that will congeal into just a thick piece of cheese and meat if you're not fast. Does Ruby like Olive Garden? No, he does not.
So he knows. So you've gotten Olive Garden and tried. And
No.
Ruby's tried it.
No, I just know this for a fact.
He's
crashed out, by the way.
Let me mayo mix it spicy. Let me get through the rest of these. Or it's kind of a lot.
You're not done?
No. No decaf. Thank you for the 50 months. That's 50 months of Honolulu Blue and rum.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Hockey. Thank you for the 29 months. Says finally think I'm ready to get back into football after blacking out since the Washington game. What Washington game? I don't know what you're talking about.
Never heard of it.
Irwin, 42 months on Twitch, says I'm watching mostly on YouTube, so I missed the streak. But here comes my Bezos money. Appreciate that, Irwin. Irwin,
by the way, shout out to the guy in YouTube who told me I don't get down out of the valley too much these days, but he told me about, he says, Easy Street Burgers in Los Angeles, and these things look legit.
Oh, yeah?
There's one down in it's down in Studio City. So I'm going to have to check that out sometime.
Irwin, if you're watching on YouTube, is your name Irwin? Because I feel like I haven't seen your name much in the chat. Maybe I only really see you that much when you're resubbing anyways, but if you changed your name to, if your name is different on YouTube, let me know, just so I can put the Twitch name to the YouTube name. Krolik, 48 months, 4 years. Subscribe to us on Twitch. Says LFG. Not that obvious. 21 months on Twitch. Thomas J. Hutchins, 27 months, says rookie camp. Check. OTAs before you know it. End of the month, 2 weeks. Sports Turf Pro, 25 months, says POD at the grocery store. Upgrade. Ooh, you mentioned grocery store. Now I remember that I still have to cash in my yoga pants at a grocery store.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Not looking forward to that.
I'm still slow. I got to clean the kitchen again. Every time I'm like, hey, I've got to clean almost enough I could do the cooking stream, and then I have a busy week, and suddenly my counter fills up.
How Now Brown Cow 25 months says Ray and Nephew's nephew, the Moreno you can't containo, the human meme, the word to ya, young Erwan, the racist provocateur, Henrik Budquist.
What the? Okay.
Not sure if that's a lyric or I don't know what that is. I do like Henrik Budquist though. Kula, 30 months says time flies when we are having fun. That did not happen, Emery. And now I'm concerned about what you're dreaming. I have worn yoga pants and say they are wildly comfortable. That is true. But not out to the grocery store in public yet. And most likely under normal pants. I have also worn them once or twice while on the podcast. That's probably what you meant.
You've already broken them in, huh?
Oh yeah. They're great. I don't know why everyone doesn't just wear yoga pants. One Pride 0427, 25 months subscribed to the channel. So thanks for all the effort, guys. Thanks for coming back. NHSW with the 6 months has finally recovered from the heartache. Good to be back. Okay, so it's interesting because I certainly noticed a dip in, let's say, page views over the last 2 months. But 2 people now have said, I'm back in. I don't know if it was like
I'm back, baby.
Is it the schedule release being this week that has got you like, all right? Is it the fact that Pistons and the Red Wings are done? What's bringing you guys back to Lions football now?
Good question.
The draft? Oh, the draft. That makes sense too.
Draft will do that. I wanted to look this up. I think the place I went to is called Wanna Smash. But I'm getting some other smash burger recommendations around LA. Like I'm assuming you guys have, like, I don't know if you have a lot of smash burger. Is this a coastal thing, Smash, or is there has it moved out to other places yet?
I think smash burgers are just having a moment nationally.
Yeah. I have one of those smash. I have one of those smashing the lids. The
little press, like the
weights.
circle press.
I mean, I got it for other things besides burgers. I'm going to eventually try doing my own, but like it's useful for other things for cooking around. But I'm just like, you know what? This seems actually useful. Heat this up and make it at home. I was just saying, like, I don't usually go for burgers. Just twice a year, just out of the blue, I'll be like, I really want a cheeseburger. I want a cheeseburger. I want Thousand Island dressing on it. I want the fixins, like all of it. I don't even need fries. I mean, but Steak and Shake, a double at In-N-Out, even Carl's Jr. A Carl's Jr. Like I think I had last time I went out for a burger, I had a coupon for half off on like a double classic star, and that hit so well.
Oh man, you just like hit a core memory of my early time in LA where like the one thing in the mail, like when you get all those crappy coupons, the one thing
all the Val packs,
is the Carl's Jr. coupons.
Yeah. So for those who don't have a Carl's Jr. near their burgers are perfectly fine. I actually like Carl's Jr. a lot versus a lot of other drive-through places, but it is effing expensive.
Yeah.
I only go there with a coupon, or every last one of them, every manager has their own specials. The one near me has like a really good breakfast biscuit special for like it's like 2 for $4.50 mix and match for breakfast sandwiches. But like, it's hit and miss elsewhere. So like, but yeah, you got to kind of go there with a coupon.
I was trying to remember what burger I got that I love so much, and it was the one with the pineapple on it. The teriyaki. I'm gonna show it on stream because it's I lived off this.
Habit has a teriyaki burger as well. Yeah.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
I ate way too many of those in my first 2 years in LA.
They built so there was a 50s style diner right near me up the road, and they replaced it with a place called The Habit, which is a smaller burger chain in LA, and they do have a teriyaki burger with the pineapple too. And I got to get one of those one time.
Wrong one. There we go.
Yeah, you're right. Not that obvious. It's like $15, like full price. It's like, actually, I think the double star was like $10, like $11. The coupon it knocked it down to $5, and I'm like, that's better.
I do not love Jack in the Box tacos. But good to see you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't heard from you. Good to see you in here. Hardee's. Yes.
So me and Jeremy kind of like it's funny because I moved out
places.
here.
Yeah.
We basically traded places. There was like a 2-month period where we had Radio Free POD West, where I was like, because I was like struggling to set up and my apartment fell through, I was recording. Jeremy and I were sharing a microphone at his place in Van Nuys when I first moved out here.
Oh my God,
but then Jeremy moved back because you were getting credentialed, and I moved out here because I was going to USC.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of traded places.
Yeah, I was out here first in, what year was it? 2009? 2009. I was there from 2009 to 2018.
Well, I just got reminded from my dad that not only yesterday was Mother's Day while I was calling in, but apparently yesterday was also the 7-year anniversary of my graduation from USC as well. So,
wow.
Yeah, I've been out here since
7 years already.
Yeah, I've been out here since 8 years. I've been out here since 2017. I moved out in July in 2017.
So we only had like a calendar year together.
Less than, like I think
it's about 1 year total. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I left in, I want to say June 2018.
Yeah, I know, because I was going to school. We did not meet up much once the fall semester got going too.
Yeah.
Well, Masters at
you
USC
were busy. I was writing for the site at the time too, obviously.
Yeah. We met up a couple times, I think, mostly for ramen.
True.
We'd always get ramen.
Including when I came back for the Rams game a couple years ago.
That's right. We went to Sujita. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God, I love that place.
I used to lift heavy on weights. My appetite was massive. I'd always get 5 meat burgers from Carl's Jr. Employees would look at me like it was crazy, so I get a double and triple instead. I like Shredder's Rage. I like that you call them meat burgers. That's a phrase that's going to stay with me for a really long time.
You have to clarify nowadays. Turkey burgers, other burgers, tofu burgers, turfu burger. No, I kind of moved to LA because I didn't know what I was doing with my life. There's more to the story. I graduated with a psychology degree. My buddy was going out there to pursue stand-up comedy and asked if I wanted to come along, and the kind of behavioral therapy that I was working on with kids here in Michigan was like cutting edge in LA. And so I'm like, I've never lived outside of this like 20-mile radius. Let's try LA. And I ended up staying there for 9 years.
USC was the only school that would take me for a journalism master's program. I think I applied to Michigan and they never got back to me. Stanford was like confused why I was even calling, and Cal was like, you don't have the background at all. You're a web designer turned radio and podcast guy. USC wanted me for my audio skills. They even kicked me a scholarship. And at the time, it was my last time to really go somewhere. And I had always dreamed, like Jeremy and I are both around the same age, and like late 90s, early 2000s, there's definitely a romantic LA that you grow up with.
Sure.
And I had always wanted to like go out to California.
Yeah.
And I had just moved back from Ohio from Georgia, and I was used to warm places. So like I was like just USC was calling, and I'm like, sure, absolutely. And then I just never moved away. I bombed a little bit with my work afterwards, and then I found a job with in town up in the valley. So, you know.
Yeah. It was a fun place to be in my 20s.
Yeah.
Then
I don't know if I'm terribly in love with LA. I'm not terribly in love with LA, but I love California.
Yeah.
I stick around more than anything. I don't spend a lot for like the entertainment in town, but I go out for Malibu, for the beaches, for I'm scheduling a trip. I'm going to go out to Big Bear at some point here, and then down to San Diego to see some friends. But like it's absolutely the environment. It's the climate for me. It's the natural landscape.
It's wild that in the early days of the podcast, I was the guy that was referred to as Cali
You were
boy.
the Cali boy.
I was the Cali.
Yeah.
You are full on Cali boy now.
Mm.
There's two things I miss about California, and actually neither of them are the weather. It's the comedy scene and the food.
Oh, yeah.
And Detroit food is starting to make a comeback. I don't know if comeback is even the right word. A resurgence, whatever. Detroit food is,
but it's
getting
the
much better.
variety in California food.
And the authenticity of like different
Yeah.
cuisines, right? Because it's actual people from those countries or regions that are making that food.
Yeah.
And man, and here's the thing, like, I bet I wouldn't even dig the comedy scene as much as I did anymore, because it feels like it's changed a lot.
It's not even that I go out for food too, but it's also just the variety of different groceries I can go to around here to get
That's true.
specific stuff too. So.
Yeah. Anyways, if you have a chance to go to California, go try it out, chat.
Yeah, go visit. Go visit a few
message.
places. Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to live out there for a decade.
I do. I think at our live show, I did get thanked for representing California Lions fans, which I am always appreciative of. But I also find ironic because, again, Jeremy and I swap places. Let's see. What else is there?
I've not seen Amon-Ra at workout. Someone mentioned that in one of the comment sections at Pride of Detroit. I'm like, that can't be true. And then I looked back and started thinking, and I don't think he's been in any of the photo galleries from workouts. But he's clearly in town. Like, he was at a Tigers game. I think one of the draft picks was like, oh, yeah, I just, I passed Amon-Ra in the hallways. So he's at the facility and he's in town. So he's working out in some manner. You could take that as, is he going through rehab? Is he dealing with an injury? And the answer might be yes. Like, maybe he had like a small off-season procedure. That wouldn't be completely surprising to me. Like, would it surprise anyone to know, to be like, oh yeah, Amon-Ra was playing with a partially torn fill in the blank? No, that dude's tough as hell. But I can't imagine that it's anything serious. But you never know. Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we've talked about this yet, and just putting this on your radar because you might want to eventually write something on this. But 2 hours ago, Adam Schefter reporting. Adam Schefter was told by Bengals defensive Trey Hendrickson that no communication has taken place between my camp and the organization following the NFL draft in April. Trey Hendrickson said the team has cut off contract talks amid a dispute regarding a new deal.
I did not miss out on writing that. I saw that news. And I'm like, okay, let's move on. It's not happening. It's not happening. I am. You'll constantly hear me say, don't speak in absolutes. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Trey Hendrickson to Detroit is not happening. Stop talking about it. It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's crazy.
Fox dropped a couple of games today on the schedule. I was waiting for more announcements to come in.
Well, we'll talk about this a little bit when we start the recorder up again, but I am actually a little bit relieved that it's not going to be Lions, because I thought Lions-Eagles feels like an easy one. Go with the Super Bowl champion and the team that won the most games last year. The one postseason matchup that kind of got away. But I guess we'll start the season with the Eagles, Cowboys, I guess. I don't want to watch the Cowboys. I don't even feel like I am being like facetious. I don't even feel like I'm trying to be contrarian about this. Just nothing about the Cowboys is interesting, and I am so goddamn tired of seeing them on my TV. Like, everyone's like jumping up and down about the George Pickens deal when all I see is like, oh, let's go look at all the receivers that the Pittsburgh Steelers have let go and see what happens after they leave the Steelers.
It's a graveyard.
It is death.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you would pick the Cowboys in that game. Like, everyone is going to watch the first game of the season.
Cowboys fans will have hope, so they'll have the audience for it. But yeah,
I know.
I think I know what you mean.
Anyways, right?
Yes,
like, it's the first game of the season. Everyone's going to be excited to see that. Like, why throw a big market team? Like,
here's the
Eagles Cowboys is going to draw ratings no matter where you
regardless.
Put it in the
schedule. Yeah. So? To come back to California a second, I work with a couple of people who are Chargers fans. and some other NFL fans. And like, I understand the NFL wants to push international games. I think it's a step too far to not take a game away from the Chargers, but to put a divisional game in an international stadium.
That is a little weird.
Think it like because that's the game in Brazil. It's Chargers Chiefs, and the Chargers are a home team. Like that's
the only way they're going to get people to show up.
no, but they sent Eagles Packers down there. They sent Eagles Packers down there, and even then, that's like a conference game. I feel like, but like to go to a division game, which matters so much for the playoffs, and like you're not in your own place, you don't have your own crowd. And I mean, I know it's the Chargers, I understand that, but still, and you're sending it on the road where like you're not at real full capacity when you're going out for these international games. It kind of feels odd. It feels really odd that we're giving up a divisional game for that.
So while we were live, the NFL, or Fox more specifically, announced a Week 16 doubleheader.
Ooh.
Fox was going to announce, that must be the only announcements they're going to make. Prime Video is also supposed to drop something today at some point.
I did see that. Is it Peacock who got the Week 17 game?
Yeah, that doesn't have opponents yet.
Exclusive streaming, but like still, just once again, streaming continues to encroach on this. Whoa.
Pretty good, honestly. Eagles, Commanders, Packers, Bears on a Saturday in Week 16.
Let me ask you. Over under 6.5 national games for the Commanders.
Does this
not
count?
Primetime national? So I'm including these Fox.
This one counts.
Yes, this one counts. Like the Fox game of the week counts as a national.
I mean, they're probably going to get 5 or 6.
I'm slamming the over at 6.5.
Because like I think you're only allowed 6 primetime games. But yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels is obviously a big pull. I don't know if they're.
But
it's
kind of that. That is a huge fan base. That is a huge market that they've just kind of let die for so long. Like, feels like they're going to really slam the gap.
I do like the Packers traveling to Chicago in late December.
Yeah, that's gonna be a disgusting, crappy game.
Yep. Anyways, I think that and the home opener are the only 2 games that are officially out yet.
That we know right now. Yeah.
But yeah, no Lions games yet. So in case you don't know, we're going to talk about the schedule in a minute. We don't need to get into it yet.
Yeah.
Shredder's Rage, thank you for the 20 months. If I didn't say that already, appreciate you. I got nothing else to talk about.
What else is going on? Yeah, I'm like sitting around thinking about what's been going on in sports. It's been a whole lot of nothing. The NBA games have been kind of suck.
I mean, I'm very torn by the Celtics-Knicks series because there is something inherently beautiful and hilarious about the Celtics blowing 2 20-point leads. But I certainly don't want to root for the Knicks after they beat. Yeah. After one, I learned how much I hate some individual players on that team, and 2, they beat the Pistons.
Yeah. And wait until you see their fans too. Like people have been talking and asking me a long time about why I hate New York sports so much. I feel like that series was a preview.
This is someone that is completely out of their element talking about the NBA, but I've watched a good majority of that series so far. And I'm just going to say it would not surprise me if the Celtics win it 4-2. If the Celtics just win,
not be surprised either. The thing with the Celtics is they just have to hit all their threes.
Yeah,
they have to hit all of their that is a gritty team.
Like 45 in the first game or something.
But that's been the Celtics all season long. Is can they hit their threes? That's them for this entire playoff. Is can they hit their threes? If they're going to hit their threes, they're going to win their games. If they're not, they're going to get dog walked by a team like the Knicks.
Yeah. John, it's not my fault I'm falling asleep during hockey games. If I love overtime hockey, but if it's past 11 o'clock, my body will not tolerate that.
Old man.
I'm an old
Look at
man.
my
I'm a
life.
man of my mother. Shout out to Mother's Day. She
Hell
falls
yeah.
asleep at like 7:30 p.m. every day, and has for
That's even
decades.
earlier than my mom. My mom's zonked out by like 8:15.
Listen, I'm chasing the dragon that is 8 hours of sleep, and my body wakes up at 6 a.m. every single day, which means
Yep.
I have to go to bed at 10.
Man. I Speaking of hockey, death to the Mammoth logo.
Why?
So I kind of get what they were going for, in that, like, oh hey, let's, what the Wild have a cool idea. Let's like make the top of it look like mountains. But okay, if you look at the Minnesota Wild logo, you can come away from that not even thinking at all that looks like a nondescript beast head. And they specifically made the beast head, like, is it a bear? Is it a wolf? Is it a coyote? You don't know, because they made it specifically nondescript. It is a masterfully designed logo, the Minnesota Wild. The mammoth, the outline is also the shadow. It is black, white, and one desaturated tone in profile, and the small hint of a mountain on top, and then they just give up on the rest of, like, trying to make the double thing work, because the rest of it's clearly a mammoth. It looks like an esports logo.
Dang.
It is a bad. It's a mod, like, you if I could find that and I could Photoshop it onto like a UFL jersey.
Why you got
It
to
would
take
fit.
shots at the UFL and esports? What did they do?
Listen, man, look at you. You've been posting more about the Panthers than I ever thought I would ever be able to do. They shouldn't have gotten that last second, right?
They wouldn't have in the NFL, I don't think. Because here's the thing, like, the play was over with not, wasn't it 0-0, but you don't stop that clock until the referee comes on the field and does this.
And, like, that was a dumb move by Bryce Perkins too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why are you hurtling like that when you're 3 yards out
Right.
from the goal line?
Well, I have to imagine the thought in his mind was, I'm out of time. I have to score on this play, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
when probably the most prudent thing he could have done was go down immediately and call a timeout. But it's the middle of the play. He's not looking at the clock.
But I know the one thing that drives you insane about it, because like, I think you and I are both watching it for the same reason. There's absolutely going to be some guys from the UFL who might, pop up in an NFL training camp somewhere as an invite.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing it more and more. But
Blankenship is apparently perfect from field goal range.
it's happening again.
Rodrigo Blankenship, come on back.
But there is one thing I noted. I saw you tweeting about it in the one times I opened up Twitter. How much you hate this about UFL broadcasts, about it's the bleak future of all sports broadcasting. And it's the grim meat hook is sitting there right in front of you every damn play.
I don't know. For some reason, more than normal, I have a little bit of a bee in my bonnet about sports betting in general. I don't like it. I don't like that it's taken over sports culture. I don't like that there's a bajillion commercials of it. I don't think it's good for society. I understand freedom and all that garbage, but I don't like it. I don't like how much money they have. I don't like how much they throw it around. And full disclosure, Pride of Detroit is very commonly sponsored by FanDuel. Like, several of our writers get paid a little bit extra to do some sponsored posts. And I don't love it. I wish I could give all that money back and just pay them better wages. But unfortunately, that is the hellscape that we currently live in, where we have to take in money that I don't want.
But there's that versus what happens on UFL broadcasts, where every damn down they're talking about live betting.
Yeah.
And it's in your face all the time.
I guess the reason I got triggered, particularly during that broadcast, is because they were doing what I believe is the worst kind of betting, which is betting on the outcome of a football drive.
Yeah, live weight. Like they were doing live betting. They were doing live wagering.
Yeah, but like not like live wagering is in like, oh, the Lions
here's
are
the
up
live
14
total
points.
or something.
Yeah. It's bet on what happens in this drive, and that is pure chance. That is I'm sorry. You can watch football for decades and decades and decades. You are not going to be good at that. You are guessing.
That is going for the quick endorphins. Like that is like slot machine quick endorphin roll. Yeah.
And to me, like that is the most dangerous type. And because we now have gambling bookies in our pocket, the most like, I don't know. It's the reason they're doing it. And they're doing these in these broadcasts is because they can manipulate you to do it.
Yeah. Well, they want you to chase again.
Yes.
Like the problem, the thing with the betting on what makes it dangerous isn't the inherent risk of the money; it's the endorphin rush you feel about it. Yeah. Like, I mean, I remember every time like Powerball gets big about oh, just get a ticket and then you can spend the day wondering about what happens if you would win those $1 billion or whatever. Well. Like, and there's been a lot of studies out there. It's like it's not about how much money you're laying on the line. It's how fast you get to that outcome. And that's why slot machines are so dangerous.
Right.
Because that is immediate endorphin, immediate result. Go back chasing it again and again and again and again, regardless of whether you win or lose. And the struggle of sports betting has been that for a long time it was the big three. Besides, you had props, and then it was the big four. You had props, spreads, money lines, totals. You could throw futures in there, I guess, when we started getting up to those. But these are all long-term things, and as live betting has gotten better and better, like as Jeremy says, it's no longer just like a second half a line that you'd get there because these things are so integrated into like mobile devices. Now we can get you down straight to the result of a drive. And odds on field goal, turnover, or touchdown.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see the amount of people in chat that agree with us because I don't know, when I hear people talk about gambling in sports, it feels like there's no pushback. It feels like most people that love sports,
us in the media
love sports
itself.
Gambling.
Well, I think it's for us in the media themselves. I think our audience is a little bit self-selected in that regard. Because I think there are people who are exhausted of it, but there's also a lot of people who all they have, like John points it out, that's the big thing is because these are on phones. It's like, it's younger and especially male.
Yeah.
Of like, you have a phone supercharged for you to just lose money instantly. Yeah. And like the amount of people, I mean, I even see it on our Discord, the amount of people who post parlay slips, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing betting parlays?
Right. And
but it's
parlay,
like I know sharps,
too,
I know pros,
Discord servers, people are trailing people that they don't know, and it's just like, oh boy.
But like that's the thing is like I have worked for over 5 years now with guys who this is their life is betting the NFL. They make their livelihoods betting the NFL. And I don't know how many of them I talk to who they look at parlays as just the worst kind of sucker bets out there. And I get it. They're not wired thinking about this, oh, this is just money for fun, but it is your money. It is your money. They're wired thinking about the money as far as like an investment, on return on investment. And in that regard, they see parlays as exactly what they are, a lottery slip. But people, because they hit on a lottery a parlay every now and then, they can't ignore the risk and just think, wow, look at how much I made on the parlay. It's like, yeah, but what about all the slips that didn't make it?
Right. Anyway,
I absolutely hate betting on the Castellanos home run after some global event. Segment 2?
I think it's segment 2 time. Let's talk about the schedule.
We've made this about an hour. Sure, yeah. Farther than I thought.
Let me change the title. 25 NFLs.
That's the other thing, Vivitor, is like the win rates are massively down for a lot of the states. Like states will always like I think those state commissions always post like win rates for people, and like I think a couple of years ago I looked at Michigan's and it was like 14%. So 14% of people wagering on sports are winning their bets. That's considering we've come from the days of like blackjack and craps where the house has at best a slight edge and they're able to play that to this is a money ball. And the best thing is like now they don't even need to take risks. They don't even need to take big money now on these bets because they're taking in at volume. Yeah. I know a lot of my sharp guys will go and like what my guy Bill Krakenberger got kicked out of a casino for trying to lay the same future bet twice. He was playing like $2,000, $4,000 on it, and the second time he tried to play it out there, the pit boss came and chased him out of the casino and said you're only allowed to play it one time. Like the limits are there because they don't want the sharp money anymore. They just want sucker money. I'm down to 228 Shredder's Rage. I have not been as fast. I have actually not been boxing as much just because I've been sick and or busy, but my diet hasn't been terrible besides the pizza last night. So I'm gonna get back on that train here soon enough. I am tomorrow. I'm going to be doing 8 hours of update anchoring for Fox Sports Radio. So I'll be on with Rob Parker and on with Jason Smith as their update anchor, and then I'll have some time to start working out again. And I'll be doing for Fox Sports. I'll be doing updates during the herd for the first 2 hours of the first 2 rounds of the PGA Championship, and I should be live on the update desk on Sunday when the final groups of the PGA Championship are coming in. So I've kind of become like the guy on air happening? For the big golf tournaments. It's the PGA Championship. Coming up.
I thought everything's over once the Masters happens.
No, it's like I know you're doing this, but like it's like tennis. You got the 4 majors, right?
Yeah.
So
tennis, which apparently is adopting a red zone model.
Red zone?
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Pride to Detroit PODcast. Let's talk about the schedule because let's talk about what we hope to see from the schedule because it's not out yet as much as I would like it to be out. We've been getting drip fed a little stuff, and I think one of the things we figured out before we came on the air, Jeremy, is because I got asked about this yesterday on Sunday on the radio about who the Eagles would face in the home opener, and there was a possibility like, look, we're gonna have the Super Bowl champion. Maybe against the team that won 15 games last year, most in the NFL.
Yep.
Not to be, it was announced it will be Eagles Cowboys for the NFL kickoff. So Lions will be spared the the season opener as one of their primetime games, and honestly, fine. They've got a tough enough schedule as it is. There's definitely going to be less, maybe the little bit more you shoo away from primetime, it should be interesting and easier. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, they still could theoretically play primetime week 1 because Sunday night football,
Monday night, yeah.
But I honestly, we did the season opener game a couple of years ago at Kansas City. I know some people wanted it. Maybe it's better to face the Eagles early in the season when you're quote unquote healthiest, or you're in Philly where it's not, the weather is going to be nice in September versus playing Philly maybe on the road in December. But
you're not going to be coming into the season healthy. You're not going to have a Liam McNeil.
That is also true.
You're going to be starting a rookie on the D line, and I think there's some questions about the Lions about, who knows what's going to happen through the season. I mean, through training camp too on health on some of these guys.
And plus, the
road schedules already
it's brutal. And
Okay, so
what's crazy is that I saw last year they didn't play a road game outside until in like the first 12 weeks of the season. They were like the third team ever to have not done that. This week they got 9 games on the road because the AFC has the extra home game. 7 of them are outdoors. 7 of them.
So besides the divisional games that you'll have, you're getting the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium, at Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, that shouldn't be too terrible, but still, Cincinnati can get pretty cold at times.
Yeah.
At Arrowhead for the Kansas City Chiefs, and at the Link for the Eagles, and then also, you'll have SoFi Stadium, a trip with the. Oh, that's right. They do go to play the Commanders as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And the Rams. Yeah. So yeah,
and the Rams. That's not
the Rams and the Vikings are the only indoor stadiums that they're playing in away this year. And the Rams
not
is
really
kind of like
indoor, but it's also LA. Like,
right.
You're not gonna be, So, okay, where do you want to start with this? I mean, it's already a tough schedule. The one nice news: the Lions, we know, won't play an international game, which is bittersweet for me because I'm still hoping at some point they'll be able to play the game. If I'm going to bet anything next year, I think they're going to get a game in Germany. Like, they pushed it so hard this year at the draft, like, it's got to happen.
That really feels like what is going to happen. I feel like the Lions are already preparing for it. Rod Wood almost felt like he said he was preparing for it when we talked to him at the owners' meeting. So, if you've ever wanted to go to Germany, start saving money now because you might get your opportunity next year.
I just hope it's in Munich. I mean, nothing against Berlin or Frankfurt, but like playing in Munich at Bayern Stadium, especially if it's around Oktoberfest, like,
yeah,
that's a trip I would look forward. That's a trip I'm going to make.
If you play in Germany in October, that'd be something. I almost feel like the NFL would be responsible not to do that, but
Oktoberfest I think is in September. So
is it?
Yeah, it's like lead up around. I don't know. Who knows? I always know the U.S. Oktoberfests are always in September and the lead up to October.
Oh,
but
what do I know?
But
anyways,
yeah. Anyway, so they won't play an international game. They're not opening the season. But still, let's talk about a lot of this. You know what? So who do you want to see? Who do we want to see in the season opener? Do you want to start with a divisional game? Do you want to start with one of these big slams? Do you want to start at home or do you want to start on the road?
I mean, generally you want to start at home, right? Like with the excitement of week 1, the crowd's going to be really into it. I think it's always good to put yourself in the best position to start 1-0. Just for that like mentality of like, hey, this season isn't going to be a disappointment. Like we're still the same team we were, all that sort of stuff. So like I see a lot of people saying Bears week 1. Let's do the Ben Johnson thing right out of the gate. This whole offseason there's just been this rivalry, Ben Johnson versus the Lions thing happening. I'm not as into that as I think most people are. I'm in Rago in our chat. Like, give me the Commanders right off the bat. Give me while the revenge is still fresh in every single Lions player's mind. Let's go to Washington again, away, outdoor game. Get that out of the way in September. Give me Washington week 1. Let's get the revenge right away, and then we can move on to whatever we're going to accomplish in 2025.
Look, call me weak if you must, but I feel like this season is not going. You're not going to be able to go balls to the wall constantly like you did last season. And I would like to start with a little bit of tempo. We know Lions are going to give a lot of their guys some rest in preseason, especially with 4 preseason games.
True.
I would not mind starting with the Giants.
You want a little
Not
layup?
only would I not, well, not just a layup, but also like that is not a terribly like bad challenge for your offense out of the gate. Like that front 7 for New York is going to be very strong this year. That might be the only part. Like their offense is nothing to write home about, but their defense is going to be a pretty good defense to play against. And I feel like the Giants is kind of like a preseason game 5, kind of like start to ramp yourself up to the season, get everything, straight. So like you at least look right for the rest of the year.
Yeah, a little like John Morton litmus test, while also like he's probably going to have a little bit of leeway because even if the offense doesn't have its best day, like who's going to beat you from the Giants offense?
Yeah, that's a good point too. Is like you're going to be easing in the John Morton system and everything too. You're running new systems on offense and defense. Like this feels like the game where it's like I would like something a little less heart palpitation if you'd kindly.
Yeah, I get it. That's fair.
All right, let's see here. You know what? I want to go to another big date before we go back to some bigger questions. Rip the Band-Aid off Thanksgiving. So we were going back through the history of this. This game has been virtually like 80% of the time a divisional game.
Yeah.
Usually against the Bears or Packers. Sometimes the Vikings are in there. I'm kind of tired of seeing a divisional game on Thanksgiving. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, which leaves you can't do the Cowboys, which is another home game slate. So that would leave
can't
you
do
with
the Cowboys,
the Giants, the Browns, Steelers, or Bucks if you don't want a divisional game.
Is Aaron Rodgers playing on the Steelers?
Probably.
Then give me the Steelers. I still remember that Mark Sanchez Eagles Thanksgiving game, man. Sack him.
I don't want that man in Ford Field ever again.
Well, you're gonna if you're right, you're going to get him in Ford Field one more time.
That's probably true. This is the one where I kind of prefer the layup. Honestly, you got a short week, typically either before or just before. You're on a national stage. It's a tradition. The Lions have not been historically good on Thanksgiving. Last year they broke a streak of 8 straight losses. Just give me a layup. Give me the Browns. Screw it.
Browns would be a very good one. Like to have that kind of Lake Erie game on Thanksgiving.
Bring the ship trophy back. The Edmund Fitzgerald.
Edmund Fitzgerald.
You grab a turkey leg in one hand. You grab the Edmund Fitzgerald chip on the other hand.
We are united in that. We're both so tired of seeing this as a divisional game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I understand why they're doing it, but it's. I think what schedule makers don't understand, or maybe they just don't understand, maybe they just don't care, is that Thanksgiving is such a. It's obviously extremely special here in Detroit, but it's also, I think, an in for people that don't love football as much, but love Michigan culture, and it's part of Michigan culture. And so seeing the same, when those people are watching one game a year and it's literally the same matchup over and over again, that sucks for them. Give us something new. Give us something unique. Give us the Brownies.
I get it though, especially when it's the Bears so much, because that was the original Thanksgiving game was Spartans, and they were the Bears at the time.
Yeah.
But that was the original Thanksgiving game, was the franchises that would be the Lions and Bears. This was the original matchup. So I get why they keep going back to it. It's just I've seen it too many times, man. I've seen it too many times lately. I understand, NFC North, black and blue division, everything, but give me something different. We've had too many damn years where this dish is on the Thanksgiving menu. I am saying it's time to swap it out for a different type of pie.
100%.
Let's see. What else did I say? Have written down here. So would you rather prefer to have the tough game? I mean, this kind of gets to our general discussions. How many tough games would you want early versus, as I said with the Giants, I want something that's going to be something for the Lions to ease into the season a little bit. You're still going to need some time. And I guess this is going to go along with where is the bye week.
Yeah. I mean, that's I wrote a list of, I was like, what do you want for the schedule release? And I put in parentheses besides a late bye week, because we all want a late bye week, right? We're all sick of these week 5, week 6 byes. And the
Just
Lions
give me
then
something
having
near the
to
middle
go
of
through
the
a
season and I'll be happy.
Right. Just this gauntlet of 13, 14 straight weeks of football. It's just no wonder the Lions were in the situation they were.
Yeah.
They had to play every single week from October to January. It's ridiculous. But
it's
to the original question, obviously the Lions have a really tough schedule. If you go by, win totals, Vegas win totals, it's what, the second hardest, or I think it's the third hardest, and then if you go by last year's schedule, it's tied for the second hardest. So there aren't going to be a lot of like, oh well, here's a streak of 3 games. They'll clearly go 3-0, and like, what I know we've gotten used to being able to do that over the last 2 years. I don't think there's going to be a stretch like that in this schedule. I would say the key for me is I want the teams that are rebuilding or like starting anew somewhere important. Those are the teams that I want early. So I want the Bears early, right? I want Ben Johnson still trying to figure things out, still trying to figure out the strengths and weaknesses of that. Get that in early. I want the Steelers early because I don't know who their quarterback is going to be. I want the Browns early because I don't know what their quarterback is going to be.
Nothing good. I don't. You can put the Browns wherever. I will not care.
That's fair.
I think that might be the easiest game on the schedule is the Browns, because unlike, again, at least where it comes to somewhere like the Giants are going to want to play a kind of football that you like to play if you're the Lions, where it's like just going to be trenches, hard, gritty, slamming at you every play. Whereas I feel like the Browns, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and hyperventilate. Oh, maybe Shadur Sanders is here. No. No. I don't think the Browns are really good at anything right now. Their defense is kind of aging out, and they've been losing pieces to it. Their offense cannot be run. Like, I don't think there's anything. I feel like if you're looking for the one layup game on the schedule, it is the Browns.
I think that's fair. I would throw the Vikings into that category too, because JJ McCarthy hasn't started a game yet, right?
That's true.
So play JJ as early as you can.
Well, especially too, since we're talking, it's going to be really fascinating to watch the Vikings this year. I don't know if they can catch lightning in that bottle twice. And I know, like, JJ was exciting during preseason, but then, like,
he played one game, and
he
it was
played
like a
one
quarter.
game. But also too is like he was exciting in the preseason. Yeah, sure. And then Sam Darnold walked in and took over that entire offense and did basically the same thing with it, which kind of leads me to assume once again it's Kevin O'Connell black freaking magic. So like, yeah, I get him early would be nice. Maybe I'd like that as a road game early.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go to Minnesota like late in the year. I mean, just it's annoying.
It's tough, right? Because again, that's one of your 2 away indoor games. And so you almost prefer to have that later in the season, but I'm also kind of with you where like these late season critical games in Minnesota are tough. It's a tough place to play. It's a good home environment for Minnesota.
Right. Let's see here. What is next on my list? If I can keep my notes straight. Primetime game. Let's talk about the primetime games.
Yeah.
How many are we thinking? So, I mean, we're going to set aside are they going to have 2 Thursday games again? Or is this like a thing that we're just going to keep doing?
Maybe.
That's annoying if that's the case.
Prime Video probably wants a piece of the pie, right? Because they don't get the Thanksgiving game.
And I think we learned that Fox is going to have some of the Saturday games late in the season. Lions weren't included in those that we saw for, I think, week 17 that they were talking about?
16, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, 16, 17. Like, I'm going to imagine the Lions are probably not going to be strangers to Monday Night Football. They're not going to be strangers to Sunday night. Probably not as many as they've been getting, though, especially since I'm of the belief the Commanders are now going to be the hot team that the league pushes a lot, considering the size of that fan base, how long it's been down. Like I feel like we were doing a total on Fox Sports Radio the other day. It's like over under 6.5 national games for the Commanders, and I still went over. That's national games though, but still, like, NBC is going to want that pie. I think I'm not saying the Lions have kind of like worn out their welcome, but like they'll probably get one of those NFC North divisional games as a prime time. Besides that, like Ravens Lions feels like, a possible primetime game perhaps, or Cowboys Lions, although that's in Ford Field, so I don't know how that would really play.
I don't know, man. I think
Lions Rams feels like prime time too.
I think they are going to load the schedule with Lions primetime games. Because I was trying to find the quote from Rod Wood, but he was saying like we had like 6 of the 7 most highest rated TV
they were a ratings gainer.
Yes. And while I agree with you on some level that I think there's going to be a little bit of Lions fatigue, because especially early on when everyone is like, oh, well, you know, the Bear, like people are really high on the Bears right now. People are high on the Commanders. People are high on this team and that team and whatever. Once we get to like week 6, week 7, and the wheat actually starts separating from the chaff, and the Lions are still one of the best teams in football. If the NFL had not put the Lions on primetime games, they are going to regret it, because one of these teams is going to crap out.
I think what we were going to have is like you're still going to have a lot of primetime for the Chiefs. The Cowboys, at least to start out of the gate, are going to have their usual requisite. I feel like the Broncos got a little bit of shot in the arm, and they will once again go back to the Broncos for a lot of primetime games because of the size of that fan base. The Bears are absolutely going to get primetime games because of the size of that fan base too. It feels like there's going to be enough earners that like there's just not going to be as much real estate for the Lions, is my argument. I'm not saying that it's like they're going to have fatigue. It's that there's other more Johnny-come-lately teams that are going to be up there that. But I mean, at the same time too, now as I think about it, it's like, how many primetime games will the 49ers get at this point?
I don't think that many.
Yeah. So like that's real estate there for the Lions.
Yeah, true. In terms of opponents, I don't really have that big of a preference. I do kind of like the divisional primetime games. But, you know, I wouldn't want Lambeau in December at night or Chicago in December at night. But, like, the one thing, like, I don't want Lions-Cowboys to be primetime. I don't want that game to be, let that be a 1 o'clock. You know what that's going to be. It's going to be Fox's game of the week at 4:25. Like, that. Fox loves putting the Cowboys at 4:25, and so that's probably where that game will be. Don't put Rams, Lions. Can that thing die down now?
No, it might be the last time they get that might be the last time they get Stafford versus this old team, though. I know you hate it, but I'm just saying.
Give me division of games. Part of me wants Baltimore in prime time. Like I know that's away, and you're making that environment a little bit more rowdy.
I don't like the idea of playing. That's the thing, is like that on paper that's good, but at the same time, me sitting here as the Lions guy, I'm like, playing the Ravens for the first time in the season as an NFC team. That record is cursed.
Yeah,
that record is really cursed.
Hosts the NFC, and we all know what happened last time the Lions faced Lamar and the Ravens. It was rough.
Yeah.
It's so weird, really quick, that when the Lions faced the Ravens in 2021, there was obviously the Justin Tucker game.
Yeah.
They went toe to toe with that Ravens team at home, and then in 2023, in what would become their most successful postseason season maybe ever, in the Super Bowl era at least, they just get waxed. Absolutely waxed by the Ravens in Baltimore. It's crazy.
The Ravens are just so hard to read too, because I keep waiting for the bottom to fall off with them.
Yeah.
As well. Like, and I know it's the Ravens. They always reload very, very easily, but I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out the Ravens, because during the season, they will look incredibly shaky at the best of times and still end up winning like a ton of games. But then, it's that record against the NFC. It's how they treat interconference games. It's Lamar Jackson. It's all these things. It's just such a tough game to figure out. I'd like to make one correction though. I said I'd like Vikings in Minnesota early, and now I'm looking at the Week 18 preferences. Here's the problem, Jeremy. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've gotten a lot of... Has the last 2 years been in Detroit for Week 18?
I believe so. And were they both Minnesota? I think they were both Minnesota.
I think they were both Minnesota, and then the year before that was in Lambeau. To end the year,
right.
I believe.
Oh, yeah, the iconic 2022 game.
Yeah, the 2021 game where we kicked Aaron Rodgers' ass. Yeah. My worry is that means like we're due for a road NFC North game to end the season.
Yeah.
and 3 years in a row the Vikings, but I don't want to play outdoors I don't want to see the Lions play outdoors on week 18.
Yeah. So you prefer
It's going to be Bears. It's going to be Bears.
I think you're right.
I think it's going to be Lions Bears to end the year.
I think it's
in
very
Chicago.
possible. This is me calling my shot. Bookending with the Bears. First and last game of the season.
That'll be interesting. That would be really interesting.
You can't play the Rams in week 18. It has to be every game is a divisional game in week 18.
Yeah. So you would bookend it ideally I'm going to assume you want it bookended at home to start and then that's the question. Do you want to be at home to end?
No, I'd love it to be at home in week 18.
But then
Chicago
you don't have the
1.
opening energy of week 1
fine.
then.
That's fine because I don't want to play in Chicago in January. That has no appeal to me.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I feel like given the fact that the Lions were the home team in back-to-back season closers and especially because it ended up being so critical last year that I think they're going to have to go on the road this year in week 18 and that means you're either playing the Viking the best situation is that you're playing the Vikings for the third straight year, which makes it probably the least likely that it's going to happen, which means in all likelihood, and this is just us guessing, neither of us have seen the schedule. There's a pretty high likelihood that they're either going to play in Green Bay or in Chicago in January, and that sucks.
And I think of the two, I think it's more likely to be Chicago because you've at least seen Green Bay and Lambeau recently.
True.
It feels like at some point you've got to go through the rotation and hit up Chicago for the end of the year here.
Yeah.
So, it's going to suck.
Home week 1, Chicago. Away week 18. Calling it. That's my wild prediction.
Where would you want to see that Tampa Bay game? Talk about a feisty game. We haven't even talked about the Bucks at all. That is you want to have me sweating a little bit.
They feel like I know the Lions beat them twice in 2022, in Tampa and then in the playoff game. But Tampa, obviously they beat them in 2024 last year, right? They feel like a thorn in your side a little bit. And so it's a
Baker
home game.
Mayfield's a tough quarterback to play against. Yeah.
Yes. He is a very resilient player too. That I feel like you never really have Tampa out of it. So he's not one of those guys who gets spooked by the Lions pass rush when it happens. At all. He doesn't make mistakes, and the Lions defense is predicated on the mistakes of quarterbacks. I think
Baker Mayfield's just very secure.
I don't care if it happens early or late in the season. That doesn't really matter. My preference is that's the game right after the Lions bye week. The Lions have an extra week to prepare. I know that sounds weird for Tampa, especially when you have this tough schedule when you're facing the Eagles, the Rams, the Chiefs, the Ravens.
Commanders.
Maybe an extra a week to prepare for one of those teams. But for some reason, I just get these vibes that that Tampa team is gritty. That Tampa team is tough. They're physical. Give me a week of rest before you face those guys.
I think I'm with you. And I think the game I'd like to see going into that bye week, I keep saying I'd like them on Thanksgiving, but I would not mind playing the Bengals before the bye week.
Yeah.
That kind of feels like, because I don't know. We were just talking a little bit about the Trey Hendrickson thing. We'll see how much he's playing with them.
Maybe you get them early in the season if he's holding out. Maybe you get them early in the season, like how the Lions played the Chiefs in week 1 and didn't have to face against Chris Jones because he was still holding out.
That's true.
They got the asterisk. Let's get an asterisk Bengals game.
I would just I would like a home. Well, I'm saying that Bengals because that would be on the road, but now that I'm thinking about it, I would like a home game to end before the. No, because you'd be playing home after the bye if it's Tampa. So. Yeah. Ignore me. I'm just kind of rambling right now. Let's close this up. Biggest thing you'd hope to see in the schedule, and do I have to take late/mid-season bye off the table?
Yes, you do because everyone wants that.
Because that's our answer. Otherwise,
yes. I think it's the one stat that I always like to look at after the schedule is released is the rest difference. So the amount of rest you're getting compared to your opponents. That's what I want to see in the Lions' favor. I don't want to see the Lions facing a lot of teams who are coming off their bye, right? Who've had an extra week to prepare for them. that's always a tough thing to track. But I think Warren Sharp does a good job of tracking that. So I want to make sure that the Lions are either getting other teams on short weeks, a team coming off a Monday night game or whatever they have to deal with, while the Lions are not facing a lot of teams that are coming off their bye week.
I would like a good homestand in December. Like we got pretty even the last year with like home away.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good balance. I would not mind imbalancing a little bit. I think this team's resilient enough to go out and be a little imbalanced, but considering the road schedule they have to play, I would like to see that road schedule tilted a little bit towards earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then you get like 2-3 games in like 3 of 4 weeks in Ford Field at some point between the back halves of like, November, December, January.
Yeah.
Like I would really like that, because I feel like that's going to be, I'm not going to lie. I've got doubts about this schedule when it comes to Lions. They're definitely not going to win 15 games again.
Right.
But like
they're
for
definitely
them
not
to
going
be
to
a play
undefeated on the road, which they did.
Yeah,
it's easy to forget that they went undefeated on the road last year.
On the road, yeah.
But
they're not going to win 15 games. But like, I think there is questions if they'll make the playoffs this year. Like that's just the nature of the NFL. Yeah. It's not an easy schedule at all. Like I know the rest of the NFC North has to play that similar schedule, and I'm not expecting like the Browns or the Packers to start lapping the Lions, but at the same time, like you really need something in your favor, I think, to at least get a break. Because like we talked about last year, they got some real luck in those 15 wins last year as well. They had some real luck on their side. They had some real gritty, like, pull the horseshoe out to try to win some of those games, especially like the Houston game.
Yeah, that was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, the Houston game was horseshoes out of everyone's asses.
Yeah.
But something in your favor, like a tough road, like a tough home, a good tough-nosed homestand in December would be great.
Yeah.
Be great.
The only one thing I want to add, speaking of December, and I'm gonna look right at the camera when I'm saying this, because I'm looking right into the eyes of Roger Goodell. If you give this team a Christmas game, coming after you.
We'll damn you.
We'll
damn you.
Coming after you.
Kansas City Lions on Christmas die.
Absolutely not. If it's on Netflix, that's going to be the first Lions game I don't watch in decades. I'm just going to absolutely boycott the crap out of it.
You're going to watch it. You have to. It's your job.
Of course I'm going to watch it.
Who was that team? Wasn't there like a prank video during a schedule? It was the Seahawks. Someone pranked the Seahawks that they would have to play on both Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
It was like a couple of years. That's my reaction if the Lions have to play 2 holidays.
Yeah. God.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right.
We'll know in a matter of 48 hours. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern is when they're going to drop all
even
of
less
the schedule.
time. This podcast will be coming out like, wee hours of Tuesday morning, so you have enough time, and we will be back on the air, I think Monday, to react to the schedule. I believe that's right. Monday the 19th, because I am working late on Sunday. So,
yeah. There you go.
And we'll get Ryan's input on a lot of the schedule too at that point too, hopefully. So
for sure.
Let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
Any other announcements to make?
Midweek mailbag will probably happen.
Probably.
Probably. I know Eric was struggling with some illness, so I can't.
Oh God, it's really going around.
Yeah, I can't guarantee it. And we
well,
also have a little bit of a busy schedule because we have some press conferences from the Lions this week, plus the schedule release. So it's gonna be a little tricky to find time, but we'll try.
I'm a little behind I know I haven't put out scraps in like a month now or so, and I'm sorry about that, but I've had a massive backlog, and I'm gonna have to just start going back and cataloging some stuff, and we'll take out some stuff. If you were around on Twitch during the break, you would have seen me trying apparently the Little Caesars exclusive Mountain Dew. That's the kind of stuff we do in the off season when we're really bored, because I miss football, man. I really miss football. I love watching the Tigers, but them Tigers are gritty, but football is something else.
Sure is. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, I mean, or you could just do what Jeremy does and watch the Michigan Panthers. Don't shake your head at me. We have the receipts. We have the receipts.
I didn't even watch the Panthers game this past weekend. I just saw the ending.
You were talking about the Bryce Perkin clip like everyone else. What's the name of their running back? Tua.
By the way, they literally just announced the Christmas game. It's Chiefs Broncos.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, ignore us. So at least that we can put to bed.
Black Friday, Bears
Eagles. Wow, that sucks. So you won't have Bears for Thanksgiving.
That's true. That good puzzle piecing together there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Unless they make Bears play on back-to-back days, but I sincerely doubt it.
I'm pretty sure they won't.
You never know with this league, man. It's coming one of these days. Anyway, let's get out of here. I'm Chris Perfett, at Perfett on Blue Sky. Jeremy Reisman, at Detroit Online on X. As always, we'll see you Starside.
Recording stopped.
I liked that. It was a lot more casual this today. I'm glad we got the right at the end there.
I believe there's a triple header on Christmas. Alien.
Oh God.
So, it is still possible the Lions play on Christmas, but Lions Chiefs is not going to happen on Christmas.
Yeah, it's not Chiefs. That was my main worry. But I mean, hey, the Chiefs have said they want to own Christmas. I don't know if that's be careful about that, I guess. I don't know. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how we've gone from get the Lions off Thanksgiving to now I'm seeing people talking about, oh, can we get the Cowboys off Thanksgiving?
That is delicious. Beecher, I'm not sure what you're talking about with conflicting with a Fox report. The Bears-Packers game that we were talking about before was week 17. We're talking about Black 17. Friday, the week, I don't know what week that's going to be. It's going to be like week 10 or something.
Yeah. Black Friday is in like the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even a report. It's literally from the NFL on Prime Video account.
Yeah. So what's happening? I think that's all the leaks for today. I don't know why they waited so long for the Prime Video. Tomorrow,
I don't even know if
tomorrow.
It's leaks,
well, yeah, I'm calling them leaks. They're
the
prepared.
Drip.
They're really prepared.
So what
releases.
What are all our international games? What all international games do we have this year? We have 2 in London.
There's
one in
6. Hold on. I have a full release from the NFL where they. Where is it?
Okay, so I've got it here. So we're gonna have 2 games in Tottenham, in London, at Hotspur Stadium. 3 in England. So 3 in London, 2 are in Tottenham, 1's at Wembley. Mm-hmm. 1 in Berlin, and we know we know the home teams for all of them. So we've got Jets, Browns, Jags playing in London. We've got the Colts hosting a game in Berlin. The Dolphins are hosting a game in Madrid. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure this is right, because I did not see the I'm sorry, so 7. We've got 7. Okay. 3 in London.
That sounds right.
1 in Berlin. The Dolphins in Spain. Steelers in Dublin. And and it's going to be Chargers Chiefs in Brazil.
Wait, they already have the full Brazil game announced?
I think it was leaked. It was leaked like yesterday.
Oh, I missed that.
We were talking about it on the air, so I think it was. They're credible sources.
Okay,
yeah.
That's the week 1. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's a week 1 international game. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be that whole thing is getting announced, I believe, tomorrow. No, I got to check my own thing. Oh no, tomorrow on Good Morning Football, the entire international
Good Morning Football,
slate
yeah,
is getting announced.
But the Lions won't be part of those,
right? Unless they're considered a home team in one of those. which wouldn't.
They're
make
not.
any sense.
No, all the home teams have been announced. It's Jets, Browns, Jags, Colts, Dolphins, Steelers, Chargers.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, and then there also be ESPN is going to announce some games tomorrow on Good Morning America.
Mm-hmm.
So if ESPN is announcing that's
So
probably
ABC
some
is
Monday
going to
night.
announce them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be Monday Night Football games, I imagine.
Yeah, that's probably
a couple of them.
By the way, we didn't talk about it on the break, but I know they're going to put him back in the booth, but Chris Berman signed an extension with ESPN for his 50th anniversary there. So
that's nice. I saw that there was like a Chris Berman tweet out there, and like I glanced at my phone. I'm like, I don't care what it is. And
so I think that I think the reason
was.
they're doing that, like, you're going to see it pretty, because I think ABC gets the Super Bowl in 2027, and that lines up pretty much with like that. That sounds like pregame a pretty big farewell to Chris Berman setup.
Yeah. And then
God, I love Berman though. Damn, what a guy.
Wednesday morning, CBS is going to announce some select games like Fox did today, and then and Netflix too is Wednesday.
Netflix as well, yeah. But Netflix are they still going to have Christmas Day, or are they going to have their own game on a normal game?
I mean, probably both. I don't know.
Can I just I want to contaminate this with a little bit of soccer talk. But it's instructive, please. It's instructive. One of the stories I did for the Fox Sports Radio segment I do every week on soccer, way back after the last MLS Cup, which, by the way, featured a Los Angeles team with the Galaxy. Year to year, the ratings on the MLS Cup final, which is on like Big Fox, down over 40% in viewership. And a big reason for that is that MLS signed that deal with Apple TV Plus for MLS Season Pass. There was maybe, I think, 10 linear TV games of MLS available the past in 2024. 10 matches out of a very long MLS season until the playoffs. So for most people, you couldn't just casually decide or stumble upon an MLS showcase. It was all shoved behind streaming. And the result was ratings for the actual big event cratered. My point is that streaming is a poison pill. Once you're on the streaming ecosystem, you are really, and I know it's the NFL versus something like MLS, and I think the information landscape benefits the NFL a hell of a lot more than the MLS. I don't think that's in doubt at all. But at the same time, you are alienating people who are not getting this, who are suddenly told that they're going to have to drop down. What is it now? $20 for a month of Netflix, and go through the headache of trying to cancel Netflix when that's done.
This is my annual plea that I make to people. Subscribe to NFL Plus. It's worth the $100 a year, because they give you the nationally televised games. Now,
you don't even need to do the $100 a year. You could sign up for each month.
True.
And just kill it at the end of the month, like at the end of the season, like I do.
I believe like games that are on Peacock and exclusively Peacock, because they are considered national games, I believe they're still on NFL Plus. Now, NFL Plus doesn't support every device. You might have to watch it on your phone. You might have to watch it on your laptop. You might have to watch it on your iPad. But that is like the secret key to not having to subscribe to Peacock and Netflix and Prime. If you're only doing those things to watch football games, get NFL Plus. It's worth it.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, I splurge out for the all 22 version, and like,
yeah,
I just I I just pay for the months where the season's there and then cancel it.
And I also want to remind
bucks.
people that I thought NFL Plus was garbage 2 years ago, and then they actually fixed it last year.
Yeah, it was all about the all 22 for you. You wanted that all 22.
Well, plus now they give the advanced stats too. It's
You also get access to the NFL Network content, some Good Morning Football.
Yep,
which is very good.
I agree. Anyways, we don't. There's no coupon code where we get a kick of it.
No.
So
I'll have to start working on that. I'll go over to El Segundo and start pounding on some doors.
that's right. All right, I think I'm gonna keep this short here because Zazu's been staring at me for the last hour.
Yeah, and
Like
I've got to work a long time. I've got to work like 9 hours tomorrow, so I'm kind of wanting to get a few hours to enjoy today. Hi, Zazu.
What's up, buddy?
Ruby likewise has just gotten up from his being completely passed out on on Jeremy's old carpet, which at some point I need to throw away because he loves throwing up on this thing too.
You should. I mean, if you still,
It is
have
hard.
that-
It's hard as hell to clean it. Yeah. This isn't.
Oh yeah, that too. It's like thick.
The problem is if I get a new one, I would really like a one of those like cowhide styled carpets, but that would be like mostly white, and Ruby would ruin it in a week.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm kind of in a. I mean, the whole reason you always see the tiger's blanket right there is so he doesn't destroy my my couch too, and he's already still destroyed the back side of it too. I've got to really go over it with some vinegar and rubber gloves at some point. Ruby has been ornery lately, but he's doing all right. Where is he? Can I like turn this camera a bit? Where is he? There he is. You can barely see him back there. You can see my really like overloaded butterfly chair with all my junk, with all my laundry on it, but you can see Ruby back there just kind of chilling. Cleaning.
Jason65, thank you for the 24 months, 2 years subscribed to us on Twitch, says, go Loins.
Go Loins.
Go Loins.
Man, I miss football. I guess I'll watch. Oh, the Tigers are already up right now. So that's good. I'll probably turn that on after this.
They're up 2-0. I don't know if that's what it still is, but
it is fun to have a team. I did not expect the Tigers to be this good out of the gate. I won't lie. I didn't expect them to be like
in their opening series.
Swept in the opening series, doesn't matter. AL best and a plus 75 run differential, which is actually no wait. I think the Yankees have a better run difference right now, but it's like second best in the majors. Like that's the thing is like I'm not used to the Tigers hitting a lot of runs.
Hopefully it stays like that.
But Colt Keith is great. Kerry Carpenter is great. Kerry Bonds. Like, Spencer Torkelson is leading this team with home runs right now, and he was sent down to Toledo last year.
People thought his career was over.
Yeah. Like, and Javi Baez is actually like not swinging and missing. He's actually getting walks. It's unbelievable.
I enjoyed watching them for like 2 or 3 weeks in April. But I cannot support Bally Sports or whatever they're called now, FanDuel Sports.
FanDuel Sports, yeah.
Sports
well, it's also no
company
longer April in the D, so.
Right. I had
I'm lucky.
a free month of FanDuel Sports Network due to a promotional code. And it's
I
over,
am
and I'm
always
not
very
getting it
lucky
back.
in that I have T-Mobile and I live outside the Michigan market.
Yeah.
So MLB TV every year for free is basically like
That's pretty cool.
Cool. I'll take that. You still have your Torkelson bobblehead in a Mud Hens uniform. That must be good. My favorite, I need to go back and if I can see the image. My favorite images of Mud Hens involve Jose Valverde pitching a rehab start in Toledo while wearing a hot dog jersey. And then there was a Jurassic Park night in Toledo during a rehab start for Justin Verlander, and he received the game ball from a one of those like What are those like T-Rex
The
costumes? But it's like
inflated ones.
yeah, but it's a velociraptor.
See, as much as I dog on baseball, they absolutely get it right with minor leagues.
Well, I mean, we were just talking about this in the studio the other day too. Have you watched any Savannah? Have you just tuned in at all to the Savannah Bananas?
I got tickets to them once for I think they played in Ohio or something, and I ended up
Yeah,
not
because
being
they're on the
able
road
to go.
now. Yeah.
I've also been told that it's actually more geared towards kids than you might
Oh,
believe,
absolutely.
So I don't know if I
I
would
know,
have actually
it's-
enjoyed seeing them, but I do enjoy watching highlights and stuff.
So I've been to that. I've been to that stadium in Savannah where they play. I lived
Oh,
down
really?
there in Savannah for 5 years,
right.
but at the time, I think it was like a single A affiliate of the Mets, the Sand Gnats, that were playing there. So I never saw the Bananas there, but like, yeah, it's not like Harlem Globetrotters level of scripted. It is a real game of like, kind of like baseball that they are playing. Like it's still it's not baseball, it's its own rules, but it's certainly like it's still competitive, unlike the Globetrotters, which is
Right.
a show. But it's absolutely like the Globetrotters in that it is absolutely for kids.
Yeah.
21 Kislaw. I live in Savannah, and those tickets are impossible to get. Dude, that's great for that stadium. That is an old ass. That is
Yeah.
an old Savannah stadium. I forget the name of it. That is like old ass turn of the century Southern ballpark. It's been standing for like 70 years. They got a great like sausage sandwich they serve there from one of the carts too. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm glad that they turned that into a
Right.
must see place.
And I feel like I don't know if they're going to revolutionize baseball or anything like that, but they found
it's a
things
sideshow.
that work, and it's really interesting, like hearing the people who created that league, created that team, talk about the marketing strategies besides like all the dancing and like the trick catches that are worth 2 outs or something or whatever, but like even the concept of innings where it's like you win innings. That's like it's not
That's a cool
overall
idea.
score. It's like was it scratch golf? Is that right?
Well, I kind of think like what NASCAR did with their the Cup Series, where it's like they now do the races in like phases, and you win individual phases of
Right.
the race.
And the whole idea of that was like he was watching baseball games and people are leaving by the 5th inning. People are leaving by the 6th inning, and that is costing the team concessions, right? It's costing them a lot of
Right.
things. And so their idea was like, how do we get people to stay from the 1st inning to the 9th inning? Or I don't know if they play 9 innings in Savannah, whatever.
Yeah,
And
but
I
it's
just
just gamifying
remember him
it. Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that like it went from like a 60% retention rate to like an 80 or 90% retention rate by the end of the game. And I'm just like, that's super cool.
That's always that's cool because like I've talked about this. I do like Dungeons and Dragons. I have some friends who used to do game design, and that is very much so like that's kind of I always like that kind of design element of the world where it's like we want to accomplish goal X using our big thing. How do we do that? How do we keep people interested? How do we keep them engaged? Like how do our rules? Because every sport from the NFL to Major League Baseball to basketball has done this at some point. Like, how do we keep our sport moving at a point where people are going to stick around and remain engaged?
Yeah.
Like it not to a tailored extreme of the bananas, but absolutely the NFL's thought about this whenever they change rules is like how's this going to play with audiences? How are we going to retain them? How is our schedule going to appeal to people? Things like that.
I think the idea of like I think the idea of adding the 2-point conversion when they did in the late 90s or 2000s, that was so the game can like if you're down 16 points, that's only 2 possessions. You got to stay and watch to the end of the game.
Right, yeah, and like they had already, and again, the nice thing for the NFL is there's always ideas from all their competitors, from the AAFC to the AFL to the original USFL. I'll be very curious if at some point we get a 3-point conversion like they have in the UFL.
Right. I'm glad that you didn't mention the CFL because don't take any dumb rules from them.
Well, I mean, like again, going back to that Panthers game,
punt bullshit. Get that out of the.
Did you
CFL.
like the Panthers won the game not on a PAT, but on having to run the ball?
Yeah, I agree. Get extra points out of the game. I'm in. Kicking.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
out.
Once again against the kicker. Yep.
I honestly, I just said the CFL thing to see if John was still in the chat.
He hasn't posted in a while, so he's probably not.
But you guys do know what I'm talking about with that onside little punt thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
In the CFL?
Yes.
I haven't watched the CFL.
It's
in
the
a while,
worst
so
thing
no.
I've ever. I saw a clip of it and it enraged me.
It used to be very easy to watch the ESPN would always carry the CFL. Who carries the CFL now? Is it like CBS, Sportsnet or something? Like I haven't seen the CFL on my TVs in a while. Used to be like an ESPN2 staple. Because their big game, ESPN will always have Monday Night Football. The TSN game would always be Friday Night Football. That was like their big thing. Is it on Paramount Plus now? I found out I apparently get Paramount Plus free from Spectrum, but
All right.
I use that primarily for soccer.
I have an onside punt pulled up. And I want to warn you guys, if you've never seen this, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this video will seem obscene to you and offensive. And I'm sorry, but you need to know what's happening in Canada.
Real quick. Trigger warning from me. Is a rouge involved at all?
I don't know what that is.
That's like when they kick it through the
No.
I don't remember where they can do it, but it's the single point you get if you kick it through the back of the end zone.
No, it is not that.
Because some team won on a rouge, not like last year.
I do remember that a little bit. Now hopefully this doesn't get us demonetized on YouTube, and if it does, oh well. Or we'll just cut it out of the clip. Okay. So, things to remember about the CFL. Number 1, 3 downs. So
12 men to a side.
They're in 2nd and 20.
So it's 2 and oot, they would say.
So they're in a situation where they're in trouble.
Yeah.
2nd and long is basically 3rd and very long. This is how they get a fresh set of downs. And again,
is this like a rugby? Is this a rugby punt? Am I about to see a rugby punt?
My apologies for what you're about to see.
This is absolutely going to be a rugby punt, isn't it?
The sound off.
Oh, I did see that. I do remember this now.
I hate the CFL, and I will never stop hating the CFL until this is gone. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes. This is real. This is they punt and recover their own punt by this.
By just a donk, a tap.
First
you know
down.
What? If you only
first down Alamos or whatever. Alouettes.
Alouette. Yeah. Why not do that? That's a great point, MJ Kimball. Like, why not do that every down?
Well,
then?
I imagine you don't. Like, I imagine you don't normally have 20 yards of or meters. I don't. Do they do meters in the CFL?
No, it's yards.
I honestly
it's still
don't
yards.
know.
It's yards. It's yards. I always remember watching CFL when I lived in Vancouver and just hearing the guy on TSN say, "And there'll be 2 and oot for the Rough Riders." The idea of going 2 and out is terrifying to me. I cannot imagine that in an NFL.
See, there you go. J Rago has it figured out.
Offended unsubbing Montez.
Unsub to Canada. I'm full on the tariffs now, just after watching that clip.
I'm still not buying their booze.
By the way, Peter Griffin, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Well, worse. Anyways, I think I gotta get out of here.
Yep.
It's late enough.
People
got to
go watch the NBA draft lottery, so we got to get.
It's already over, or at least I believe the number 1 pick has already been given out.
Yes, is it the Mavericks?
It is.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
When's the last time they've had a high draft pick?
But they were in the play-in. If this proves This proves the NBA is rigged. That they lose Luka and you give him the first pick.
From Field Yates, since the NBA changed its lottery system in 2019, the team with the league's worst record has never won the lottery and picked
I know.
overall.
Don't fucking remind me.
This marks the third straight year that the team with the league's worst record will pick 5th. So it's not just a Pistons curse. It's just the worst record in basketball curse.
And you know what? That's fine because I don't want teams to tank. But at the same time, the fact that it's the Mavericks, that's the part that's getting me really rustled right now. Oh no, we lost Luka. All the fans are yelling to sell the team and boycotting and we're going to lose. Oh no. Oh, hey, look, first overall pick.
Lottery's dumb. Get rid of it.
It's the worst. Every time I see someone suggest a draft lottery for the NFL, I want to throttle them. Do not bring this shit to our league.
I'm sorry. I feel like it's not effective in curbing tanking either.
No, it makes it worse. More teams do it because they know they're in the pool.
Right. But anyways, enjoy the NBA playoffs. Go
watch hockey too, I guess. Tigers are on. Tigers are playing.
Tigers on
tonight.
What hockey? We got Caps.
2 on, bottom of the third. Let's go. Let's add some runs.
0 outs too. Cole Keith up. Colt Keith.
Ooh, Colt 40. What's his name? No, it's not 45.
Colt 33.
Colt 33.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll see you guys probably for the midweek mailbag.